1, and we are going.
Back to Oasis Valley, the Spiteful Sands arc. Previously, the group has been chasing down the leads and developing rituals and doing research to deal with the current menace of the Kasha, the flaming cat yokai that has been invoked to wreak bloody vengeance against the Hell Coyotes bikers, group of drug running and gun running bikers who gunned down a group of young adults at a what was supposed to be as it turns out, a potential meeting for expansion to expand a drug operation producing the highly illegal drug known as Epiphany, derived from materials harvested from the superorganism. Hanzo, Tommy, and Winifred managed to track down the scientist that was producing as well as the one who connected the victims with the bikers, a Dr. Damian Porter, and having apprehended him, got a confession and handed him over to the police for the moment. Hanzo, the rest of the group, has taken their captive slash sacrifice slash bait, one of the bikers known as Texas, out into the desert to perform the ritual that they believe would be able to either exorcise or seal away the Kasha. After some realizations, after putting together some clues, as the group realizes that the still living intact, not quite sure on the state, the soul of Soda Saburo, the invoker of the Kasha, still seems contained within the Kasha, as the Kasha itself seems to be puppeting his body. You're not quite sure, but as we left off, after checking the former lab of Dr. Apostu, the previous menace, or the creator of the previous menace, the Ravenous Heart, and finding a previous meal of the last monster, the group began the ritual invoking the Kasha to appear as Tex stood in the center of a ritual circle, hands still bound but legs freed, looking rather nervous as a sandstorm begins sweeping in very rapidly from the side, or sweeping over the area as the sky goes darker. And you do have Itzel with you. She's wearing her biker getup with the biker's helmet to protect from the sun, although with how the sky seems to be darkening, that might not be a concern soon. Which, probably good news for you, Winifred, so you don't have to fight with holding your umbrella.
She would anyway.
Although you did find out that turning into your animal form, the armadillo, that did seem to give you some resistance to the sun. You didn't seem, besides, other than being a nocturnal animal out during the day, or normally nocturnal animal, you realize that your animal forms can actually handle daylight much better than your vampiric self.
I'm tempted to turn into an armadillo now because I still get all my abilities and it would just be really fucking funny.
That would be pretty funny.
I won't do it.
There would be limits. There would be limits. Like, I would say that you could totally use a coyote as a combat form, but armadillo might be pushing it. You would be relegated to probably like projectile.
It's completely fair.
Yeah, was just about to ask, could we lob her, and whoever gets hit takes the damage of an armadillo being tossed into their face.
What is the damage of an armadillo?
That is something we would have to find out. But so the storm is coming. You have your ritual rolls. Carlos, if you want to go over and explain the ritual, how it's going to happen.
Like in character to everybody around or out of character?
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So
I assume you've been talking about it among the group as you've been setting up. So we'll just say, as this is rolling in this is maybe a conversation you had while setting up.
Yep. It's like, okay, so as long as that skull stays in that circle, and we can lure it in roughly around into this circle where we've put our wonderful participant Texas. Thank you for being such a fun, willing inhabitant and
Yeah, fuck you
distraction.
too.
Ah, you're welcome. You'll get a discount at the diner after this.
Kind of gives you this look like, I think I'm going to stick around in this town if I don't end up arrested after this.
So, once I start doing the magic mumbo jumbo and they start doing the chants and it is in this circle, it'll start to be bound to that skull. There will be a point midway through where I'm going to do some weird shit and I'm going to attempt to rip a human soul off of a monstrosity of spiritual nature, and we'll see how that goes. Once the thing is sealed in the skull will remain inert. We will gently pick up for it, and when the sands die down, that's when you know, hey, it's done. Keep your pieces and body parts where you can in one place. Remain seated at all times due to decapitation issues, and enjoy the ride.
Just like the state fair.
Which state fair?
You know? And
Ohio.
the Arizona State Fair. In all my years of 30 plus years, I've never gone to a state fair.
Shame. They're fun.
I know. And that's the weird thing is, my family, I always end up just accidentally not being able to go when my siblings or friends ended up going. And I'm just like, I'm just cursed never to go.
It's weird fate bullshit. Okay.
A lot of it ended up being I had to work, on days that people found time to go. It's just like, oh, come on. Oh, well. But then it's like, I always forget about it because it's like downtown, so never mind. Dental.
Alrighty, any questions, comments, concerns before the storm starts to try to kill us all?
Dental goes, what are we going to do about Felix and Ginger? And, you said Ricky's still alive, yeah?
Pretty
Ginger
sure.
and Ricky at the casino. Pretty sure Ricky was the one who shot you.
Pretty sure. I think he's the fucker who shot me. Afterwards, that's up to you. If you want to go after him, we'll help out, I guess.
It's kind of snorts. She's like, first time he's hit anything, if I remember how well he did at the shooting range.
To be fair, the thing was also in there, and I think it might have just been a wild miss.
And even Tex seems to, like, while he's really not happy about the situation, he does kind of, like, nod, like, yeah, that tracks. So, Olivia and Winifred rejoin the group. The storm is coming in. Any last-second preparations? Anything that anyone can think they wanted to do, prepare for? Anything you might have prepared for if you had an idea over the break?
Simple one. I'm gonna roll my preparedness. I want to see if I have any more fireproof gloves.
Yeah.
Because I have my fireproof gear, which I forgot to ask you what that would do for my stats, but for my armor stuff, but.
It would definitely give you an armor against fire. So,
oh god. What's my sharp? I do not have them with me. They're elsewhere. Shit. I got a 7, which means I have it, but not here, and it will take 10 to get.
So, because the group has been preparing, I was going to say that if you you have it, but it's not here. I will say that. I will give this one to you for free. You do have an extra pair of the firefighter's gloves.
Oh, cool. I tossed them to Winifred because Winifred is swiping them with me. Hey, Winifred. Tosses them at you.
The gloves won't do
They're,
like an armor bonus, but they will help, you know, narratively during the encounter.
It'll take off some of the fire damage.
Yeah, because you know you remember every time you've grappled with it, you've taken, you know, burn.
It doesn't stay though, so it's alright. But she nods at.
Yeah, there was that one time you bit the bone and it's just like, that's still so funny. You bit the skeleton.
Bite what I want. That's her first instinct, is to bite things.
And the skeleton learned that's an effective method.
That's a very canine way of thinking. I'll bite what I want. Actually, a cat way of thinking too.
It's very default Scatha. Goes all the way back.
If it's pissing me off, I bite it.
Oh. Anything else people had ideas for, or are we ready to do this?
I am ready.
let's do this.
Ready as ever, Chief.
Let's send this
Okay.
cat to the ranch.
Shady.
Stop it.
God damn it.
Alright, so, Carlos, how do you start the ritual as this storm is starting to bear down on you and the sand and wind starts picking up around you?
Let's see. How do I start the ritual? There's a moment where Carlos extends his hands and nothing seems to happen. But then around his hands, like the heat wave coming off of, you know, tarmac on a hot summer's day starts to kick on. Starts to go wrap around his hands as he starts to begin moving them around, and the little old cassette player clicks on with a play and starts blaring out a song that almost feels not quite right appropriate for the scene, but at the same point, it's Gordon Lightfoot. Who can complain?
Nobody.
I mean, maybe I can. I've never heard Gordon Lightfoot before.
If you do, I will murder you.
I've
Legit.
never heard it before, so.
We respect Gordon Lightfoot in this house.
Too bad your house isn't my house.
And then, like, as it starts to go on, I would assume as I'm using the magic, the heat wave almost starts to dance like small little flames of my own. Probably not quite the same color. There might be a whole rainbow of colors in comparison to the Kosh's hellish color palette. So, would you like me to roll a use magic at this point in time?
I think we
Yes.
did it last session, didn't we?
Oh, that was setting it up. Which
Ah.
actually, you rolled very well on that, so I would say you would get advantage on that. So roll 3, pick the highest 2 rolls.
Okay.
And Tommy's posting sea urchins in chat.
So I got a 5, a 3, and a 1. So I'm going to start with the 8 on the dice, which with the use magic would be a +3. So that is an 11.
Nice. Where's the 100 ref? So, you get the magic works without effect. Choose your effect. So, let's see. Gotta say, you're probably going for one of the 2 effects: trap a specific person or monster, or evict a spirit or curse from the person, object, or place it inhabits, and probably combine those 2.
I am trying to combine those 2. So, like, let's say for this roll, let's do the evict a person from the curse to see if we can free the soul of the poor kid.
All right. Give me just a second. I need to check.
And then after however that goes, I think I'm going to popcorn it to our bell ringer.
Okay. Yeah. So I need some act under pressures from the 3 assisting in the ritual: Hanzo, Tommy, and Fred.
Okay.
You got the 2 chanters and the bell ringer.
Oh no.
Oh no!
No. Oh no! What did you do?
I got a 5. It's okay. Can I burn a luck point?
If you so wish.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to burn a luck point because I got a 3.
Oh, fuck, this is off to a great start.
Tommy, are you sure that's 2 luck points in like 2 days?
How badly will it go if I didn't?
Don't know yet.
What do you think, guys?
Mine was a 5, so
Once
Bird
you
if
get
you
up,
got
And
it.
Hunter, what'd you get?
I got a 13.
Okay.
Oh, would that balance it out?
well, if you're worried about it, you can
Uh,
get a luck point back on a level up.
that's-
So
That is 2 successes with if Fred uses his luck point and Hanzo got the 13. Those would be 2 successes out of 3.
I'll burn the luck point. What the hell?
Oh, okay.
we've been fighting this thing for a while. We want it gone.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
want to take any chances.
All right. So as the wind whips up around you, you can see what looks to be like at first 1 and then 2 and then 5 and then a handful more of just dust devils just seem to manifest in the area around, as if the winds are just becoming violent all around. Your clothing's whipping around, your hair, if it's not tied back, is going. It's getting hard to see, and even kind of hear each other just from the roar of the wind that gets louder and louder. And even among the roaring wind, you can hear the roar of a large cat, echoed and multiplied as if there's more than one. And then Tommy and you start where you start doing the chant. It's been a while since you've had to speak, more than a few words of Japanese at a time, and you cough a bit on the dust and you're a little bit worried, but you push through, you steel yourself and you go through. And Fred, same thing. It takes a little bit to get the rhythm, but then you remember one of the funniest things about Need More Cowbell, and you get the rhythm going. That might not be this. That might not be. That
No,
might
it would
too
be.
late. That might.
No, it would be. And
That was 80s, right?
I'm pretty sure we're fine.
Let me look.
Yeah. But Fred seems the type to watch SNL. But then again, everyone watched SNL back then. So
More Cowbell aired on April 8th, 2000.
Oh my god!
well, never mind then. You actually start like thinking about "Don't Fear the Reaper," like the actual song, and
There you go.
Yeah.
it's an
Either
appropriate
that or
song,
I just think it's like CPR and just like staying alive, staying alive, staying alive.
That made me feel old reading that. I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah. Jeez, I thought this was a more recent song, but "Don't Fear the Reaper" is from '76.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't feel
that's
the
a
Reaper's
lot.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of their music
I kind of
is.
forget how old Blue Oyster Cult is.
Yeah, Oyster Cult had a sudden boom and then kind of a bust, and then they just came back to prominence. It's weird.
I blame
So-
Supernatural.
Oh no.
Sorry, that
The
derailed.
ritual, you see the. It's fine. It was me who used that reference, so that's not like questioning it. No, so as the chanting goes, you hear, and the bell starts ringing. You hear the roaring of the screaming of the cat go from a roar to a scream in rage as it seems to realize what you are all attempting, as the circles light up, and as if the chalk itself is catching flame, those circles become ringed, and the similar heat and flame that Carlos flings. But Texas flinches a bit and he's looking around panicked, but he does stay there. It seems that everyone kind of pushing on him to, hey, just listen. Have gotten through to him, and he is staying put for the moment, but he is looking increasingly frightened. As Winifred and Olivia.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's the two of you and Itzel standing, kind of playing guard, as you see one of the dust devils come tearing across the sand and gravel of the desert, racing right towards you, faster than even a dust devil should be able to move. As it hold on. Oh, you're not going great fighting stuff. Yes. Chinese though. We've been over this.
Yes, but Uncle is powerful.
He is.
Uncle's throne.
So, let's see. As you're going, you see this spiral of sand and wind come closer, and you see within it the lion or tiger-like shape of flaming figure racing, as if the dust devil is trailing after it as it's racing towards, and it is making a beeline right for Carlos.
Need to find the stats. And shit, where'd it go? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh god.
Hit it with a
Yeah, Connor,
stick.
and what are you doing? You're not, I forgot, you're not involved with the ritual.
Oh, he'd probably be standing by and just waiting to help out. I'm blanking on your fucking C name, Carlos. There you go. Okay. As the only other person relatively versed in magic, he's but he's trying not to do anything super tied to the ritual at the moment because he doesn't know how that'll fuck with it.
Right.
And I am sure it will not last because it's made of fire. But I just want to stop its speedy approach. I'm gonna try and lasso it.
Lasso it? Okay.
And I'm sure it will destroy my lasso, but it's moving pretty fast. Ha. City kicks it. Oh god. That's a 6.
A 6 for
Yep.
kick some ass.
Mm-hmm.
You get your ass kicked and stayed. So, you toss the lasso at it, and there's a moment where you're like, aha, I got it. But then as there's that moment of tension where you start trying to pull it, but then the tension just immediately goes slack as it just seems to pivot much faster than like a cat would have been able to, as it just kind of pivots immediately towards you and tackles you. These flaming claws slashing at you for, let's say they would do normally 3 damage, but you have
Fireproof
2
armor.
armor? Yeah, let's say you have 2 armor from that.
Cool, okay, so 1 hurt. Awesome.
Yeah, because normally it would be like a heavy material like that would give like 1 armor, but then it's specifically against fire. So yeah, this would be like specifically against fire based attacks. This is 2 armor.
Gotcha.
Like it wouldn't be the best at like stopping a knife or a bullet or anything, but
It is specially suited for this.
Mm-hmm.
It tackles you to the ground and is. Don't know if you've ever been tackled by a large animal like this, but you get that. It's like a large animal is trying to maul you as it's like slashing at you and trying to snap at your face.
Fuck.
Winifred.
Okay. I'm gonna do what Shady suggested and grab it by the scruff and try to throw it. Let's see here.
And you don't smell that. You don't smell the blood of Soda yet.
Okay. Alright.
Oh man, so this might not even be the main one yet.
Well, yeah, it's the cat. We know Soda's in the humanoid one.
Well, it wasn't a failure, but it was a 7, so I'm gonna take some.
On a 7 or more, you inflict harm on and suffer some harm. Okay, so what's your harm? For your attacks?
For this, it would just be, I think, yeah, up to 3.
3?
Yep.
Okay. So you go up and start dragging it back. These gloves protecting you from the flames, but it's still, you're grabbing something that's on fire. So the heat is intense against your face. Your hair, the tips of your hair is curling from the flame as you start wrenching it back, but it just turns around and swipes at you. You drag it off of Olivia at the least, but it is now swiping at you for a 3 harm as well. Minus whatever armor you have.
Okay.
Do the gloves help with that?
That prevented the burn from grabbing it.
Gotcha.
So I think that with everything, that is 1 harm.
Okay. Yeah, it just kind of slashes more through some of your clothing than your actual skin, but
Oh, it gets in there, it just gets healed. Vampire bullshit.
And Itzel is going to rush up and up. Shoot, I should have said she would have provided a bonus to whoever did next. Actually, seeing that the two of you are there and she sees that there are other dust devils that are approaching, she is going to, while looking at you, you can't really see her through the motorcycle helmet visor, but she has that body language of like, do I help or do I stay? But she does stay closer to the ritual circle, watching these other dust devils approaching. Let's see, Carlos has stepped away, but give me just a second as I read something real quick. Sorry, feel free to talk among yourselves. I didn't mean for it to cause dead air. Sorry.
That's alright.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So you guys ever read that comic strip Dilbert?
Yeah.
Can't say that I have.
I think that might be made by the most soulless human imaginable. Like just a black hole of a human being, you know, like a cancer in a human form.
Oh, it's Connor.
Like there's not an ounce of humanity in that strip.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
You better not.
That bad?
Yeah, it's bad.
I have returned.
Okay, cool. So Olivia and Winifred are dealing with a Kasha tiger as it tackled Olivia and is now slashing at Winifred. Well, Itzel is staying closer to the ritual as she sees more dust devils approaching rapidly.
Hmm?
So.
Okay.
Can't Connor, can't you do something to help us?
Just kind of standing there, just gives a shrug, He goes, sure, I guess I could try something.
That was not in you. Okay.
Yeah, but Connor, you do get that little impulse. It's just you hear that little voice. It's like, maybe you should help your friends.
I mean, I was going to do so even if you yell at me, but. So, this is actually the first time he does anything obviously magic. Because it's been coincidence and things just being sick around him. He actually just coughs and hacks into his hand, and he kind of just balls it, and there's just this aura of pure illness. And then he just makes a throwing motion as this just orb of, well, vile and illness, just pure concentrated shit, just flies at the caution. I'm going to try an attack with my magic.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Alrighty, 26, 8. That's an 8 on the die, and I'm actually using the burn everything. So it's 3 harm, ignores armor. And my additional thing, I'm going to give it a disease, osteoporosis. Let's fuck it.
All right, that's funny.
Oh my god.
Look, he was looking up ways to fuck over Bone, because otherwise Bone kind of invalidates a lot of what he can do.
Early onset
Yeah.
osteoporosis.
Okay, so you're doing the ignore armor one rather than the area one.
Oh, it's
Yeah, because looking at burn everything, it says...
doing the ignore armor. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, because it's either one target or Winifred and Olivia might be in trouble too.
Yeah, the other fucking tornadoes aren't close enough to be considered viable targets.
Yeah, toss. It's just like, oh, and you thought Tommy was going to be the one who tossed the grenade in friendly fire. But
I didn't see that ore there. I was like, oh, I just assumed I could select targets.
yeah, so you feel that sickness rise up in you, but it's a familiar feeling. Sickness never bothered you anyways. Wait, fuck me for making that joke.
No,
God
this
damn
never
it.
bothered me anyways.
I'm like actually mad at myself now.
It was subconscious.
Oh god, having nieces right around young age when that movie came out, it was all that played for a while. But I do not like that Quagsire Shady.
Listen,
That's just distressing. I'm gonna tab over to my notes. So Connor, you throw this ball of concentrated just cursed sickness. You get that sense of satisfaction from your little parasite friend as you throw it, and it impacts. As Fred and Olivia, you see it's almost like the flame. It's like a gust hits the flames for a moment, but you don't really feel anything besides the wind whipping around you. As the flames flicker and fade for a moment, but they come back. But you see as it starts walking around, you see some of the bones start cracking and splintering under its own weight, and it gives this like, I don't want to try to make the noise, but this pained yell and scream of just frustration and pain as it kind of wobbles there.
Connor flips the double bird, and he takes one step, and his joints actually creak, audibly as well.
Oh.
And so we don't really have an initiative going because it's a little more loosey-goosey with this one than straight out combat. Oops. The wrong button. Okay. So, the trio. Actually, Carlos, actually. Did you roll again for the magic for the eviction? You rolled pretty high, right?
Yes. So I had an 8, an 11.
Okay. So, as you've been as you've been casting the spell and weaving the magic, the flames growing around the circle, and they actually take on almost the same greenish tint as the chalk, as the magic infuses through it. Again, Texas looking rather nervous at this, but he calms down after a moment, thinking, "Okay, it's not the normal flame. Maybe it's good flame."
Green fire, good fire?
You
Fire
see,
bad. Fire good.
Connor, you see as the not Connor, Carlos. Shit. Well, Connor, you would see it too. Everyone would see it. But Carlos, you look up as you see one of the dust devils that is rapidly approaching, draws close, and then, as if hitting an invisible wall, the dust scatters, tossing forward first one, and then actually several bodies or people, as you see tumbling to the ground, shouting in discomfort. You see Felix, and you see Ginger, and you see the
Fuck.
still charred burning of Ricky, seemingly caught in the middle of burning alive when you summon them, and then tumbling forth almost as unceremonious as possible, as a body falling to the ground with no will to hold it. You see the body of Soda flop to the ground among these three, as Felix and Ginger are like, they look like they have burns themselves as they stand up, like Felix clutching his arm, as you see kind of similar to what happened to Fred, where it looked like it had grabbed onto his arm and just burned a handprint into his forearm. And Ginger's there. She's missing her jacket, but it looks like maybe she tossed it off as her shoulder has a burn. But they look around wildly, suddenly transported from wherever they were, looking panicked and confused. And then you just see the body of Soda just lying there. And then, almost as if a puppet, as if like a marionette, it seems like strings just kind of pick it up by the shoulder and then the other shoulder. And then it's like the body falls forward, and you just see this flame rip out of the back of the body. Not charring or ruining the corpse or anything, but just this flame rises up as Connor, you see the figure manifest from your dream. The almost anthropomorphic skeletal tiger of a skeleton raging in an inferno, as inside you see the now more charcoal resembling soul of Sota burning within its torso.
Oh.
Carlos, you have removed the entity from the corpse.
Soul's
But
still
it
me.
seems yes, unfortunately, the soul is still sealed within the Kasha, but the Kasha is no longer found within its current anchor. And it seems you interrupted it as it was currently dealing out its final vengeance against the other three.
Talk about last
And
fucking
it kind of
second.
looks to Texas, and you just see if Bones could grin.
Oh fuck.
Well, shit.
And as that appeared, the tiger that Winifred and Olivia you were dealing with also just crumbles to dust and sand, like you had seen inside the casino, Winifred.
Oh, that's one. At least it's not two of them.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's like that, but it's kind of like that, what Hanzo just posted.
Like that, but tiger skull.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you fucking idiots. Get back off. And she's gonna pull herself off the ground. And I guess attempt to shoot the Kasha. I say attempt because
Oh, right. You have a gun.
I have a fucking
alright, you have a
magnum.
gun. That's right.
That's an 7 plus 8. That's an 8. Which is 3 harm close. So I had to get close, but fucking shoot it.
It just means close range for a gun.
Yeah.
So you have to walk right up to it, but
Right. Yeah, I do that, but I also want to roll precision strike, which is 6 plus my sharp, which is a 9. When you inflict harm on a monster, you can aim for a weak spot. Roll plus tough, so that's only that's a 7. That's still a success. Not on a 7 to 9, you inflict plus 1 harm, so I do 4 harm.
Okay. Sorry, sudden cough. So take aim and you fire, and it is probably only because of your crack shot aiming that this bullet seems to have any effect on this spiritual creature. As you fire at it, you see at the ribs, like where the ribs and the shoulder meet, and you just see a splintering of bones as it does hit for 2 points, but 2 points of damage because it resists non-magical corporeal attacks.
Ah, fuck.
Well, certain ones, but yeah, a gun does not seem to have as much impact against this spiritual being as you would hope.
She shoots, it's like,
kind of turns and looks at you. These burning motes, and then the eye sockets turn and meet you, and you just feel this heat wave wash over you. But no damage or anything. But you just feel the pressure of its gaze on you as you dared shoot at it.
Shit.
So, let's see. Connor, you hear that voice again goes, "There's the bastard. Now we can make this work."
Oh, you have a plan?
I need you to do a hex on this.
Oh yeah, sure. It's just a magic roll. No. Okay. Yeet. So Emmy Mouse. I got a 6, but I'm gonna burn a luck point.
Oh my god!
Actually, I would say no. Before you do that, say because you do have assistance from your basically source of power, you would have advantage on this. So you roll 3 and take the higher 2.
Oh, okay.
That's like I'm trying to use more for when people have like
exactly 7 then.
Oh.
7 with your bonus.
I went from a 2 to a 3, so wait, no, it says drop to lower, so yeah, okay, so yeah, that'd be actually a 9 then. Play. So I got
Nice.
a 1 to 2 plus my 3, it's 6. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, my dice roller doesn't have a history.
No problem. But as you cast this hex on it, you feel it's as if your body, while still following your command, is following the guidance of your assistant. Although they want to appreciate that title, but as you reach out it's almost as if, only to you, or maybe Carlos if he was paying attention, but it's almost as if like an image is overlaid your hand and you just see this decrepit, rotting hand, almost scale-like in the way the flesh is just ragged and horrible, as it just clenches and you rip back as the ribs shatter outward, almost as like the chestbuster from Alien. But you see Soda start struggling free as his soul feels the attempt to break free, but it clutches a hand over the wound and it staggers and just now turning its skull to you to glare as the basilisk goes, all right, the first blow is done, the surgery is prepared.
Oh my god.
And you just hear this twisted delight, and it's almost infectious. I'm having fun with this little character, but
So,
so Carlos, something has happened, and you feel that you see this spiritual damage appear on the creature, as you think Connor has inflicted it with something. You're not quite sure what, but you think this might be your chance for the next step of the ritual.
Alrighty, then let's use magic and see what shenanigans we can get into.
Actually, before that, oh no, yeah, go ahead, do that, and then we'll have the next act under pressure from the 3.
Ooh, that's a nice number on the dice. Right now, the total is 12.
Ooh.
Rolled a 9 with a +3, so.
That is a total success for that one.
Yes.
And what are you aiming to do with this one?
With the opening presented, I am going to be what Carlos hasn't been in over 3 years, a pickpocket, but I'm stealing a soul out of a monster.
And so, almost as if you thrust your hand out and the flames, it's not like you reach through the circle, you reach over the line of the circle over to this, and the flames engulf your arm, these green flames engulf your arm almost like a glove as you reach out, inadvertently mirroring the same gesture that had just done, as you, same thing, like as if you're picking someone's pocket, you tug and you see this ethereal burning shape of Soda fall out, or just kind of as if tumbling out of a window. The hand is pushed out of his way, but as he tumbles out, it's like his body, while it looked crumbling and burning, just seems to dissipate into ash, and it's just drifting around. But you get the feeling that it is, Connor both can feel, he is not past, like, not like it's not like he's passing on and he's not completely burned away. His soul is lingering for the moment, or whatever his spirit is. It's as if he's witnessing this go down. But the Kasha looks up at this smaller swirling of ash and smoke, twists away from it, and it gives this scream of no, as it suddenly slams both fists down into the ground, unleashing a ripple of flame away from it. And I need everyone, it would be closest to the bikers and Hanzo and Fred probably, and Tommy. So yeah, act under pressure. This would be the act under pressure for the 3 of you.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Could I roll to help out?
Maybe you sure, you'd probably be running up.
Yeah.
This would probably get you in the blast wave too, but you could try to help him
I'll
out.
take the damage so I can stop.
Shield
You know,
him.
I'm trying to take it. That's a 12.
Okay. How about you give someone a +1 on their roll,
What the
That brings
people
me up
roll?
to a 10.
or you could do protect someone. You could do help out
Yeah.
or protect someone. One is cool, one is tough.
If you do help
same
out, Tommy gets a 7, which is a partial success rather than a failure.
stat. True. But if I protect him, I might just soak up whatever he'd take anyway.
And this
'Cause I
way,
rolled. Yeah, what's a 12 on a
Well,
protect
I'm pretty
someone?
sure if we fail, we fuck up the ritual.
Good point. I'm going to help him and give him a +1.
okay.
So Tommy, you're up to a 7 for your act under pressure then.
And I'm at a 10.
Yep.
Okay. And Hanzo.
Back to level 3 I go.
Hold on. Hanzo,
It's
you
like-
there?
I rolled a 14.
Hey!
Oh, 14? Okay. 2 successes and a partial. Okay. So, Olivia, you run up and you take the brunt of the flame. So you would take 3, reduce to 1. Hanzo and Tommy. Hanzo and Fred. You would take 3 minus whatever armor you have.
Mhm.
It's Tommy. Fred doesn't have armor, does he?
Let me check, but I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no, I do not. Yep, no armor.
Probably the most thing that has the most armor is your white leather jacket you bought for the bar. But
And I'm pretty sure that's clever.
yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, you take 5 fire as you start burning, but you manage to keep ringing the bell.
Wait, how much damage do we take?
3 minus whatever armor you have.
Okay.
And I take 5 total.
What? No, just the 3.
Oh, okay. That's when he said 5.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I
Did
was
I
say
worried
that?
about. Yeah, he did. I was like,
You
wait.
should have told
Yeah.
me.
That's why I was
Oh, no.
confused.
No. Sorry, no. 3 damage from the blast wave, minus whatever armor would reduce it. So, Tommy, you
Don't
you didn't
worry,
take
Tommy
any.
is
You
fine.
didn't take any.
Tommy
'cause
is fine.
Olivia. Well, Olivia,
Ow.
she took part of your blow, so you would still take 1 damage. But I think you have armor, so that when it really
Correct.
it rolls off your jacket or whatever. But
Just remember, if you kill Fred, I'm gonna roll a character called Macula the Irish Vampire.
he'll die quickly too.
Will he? Or will he live to spite you?
No, he'll die.
Yeah, what will happen is Macula will come in, and then he'll die, and then Fred will come back as like a poltergeist or some shit.
The very next arc with the introduction of Macula introduces a solar monster.
Oh, come on, give Macula a chance, boyo.
I, for one, am welcome Macula.
Tommy.
Yo.
However, because it was a 7, I do have to, because there's an active pressure, there is still a repercussion.
All right. Lay it on me.
I have to give you a worse outcome
Okay.
as you are doing the chanting as when Olivia comes up, and the flames almost interrupt you, but it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal, thanks to Olivia blocking most of it, and the flames don't seem to catch on your rather sturdy clothing. But it's not the kasha that bowls into you, knocking you past the circle and into where the skull is Felix as he's trying to bolt and escape, pushing past you and Olivia, but he shoves you as you tumble to the ground, scuffing at the circle around the skull. And it is the skull kind of, as you kind of bump into it, it doesn't break or anything, but it tumbles off of the little rock Carlos had placed it on. And it the green flames around that circle go out, not catching you on, not burning you or anything because they're Carlos's magical flames, but it seems for the moment the receptacle is vulnerable.
God damn it! Felix, you're a dead man!
As he's running, and Itzel kind of looks between him and the Kasha, and it's just like you can see the internal debate going in her, behind that visor. Ginger seems to be trying to get away, but she's not full on sprinting. She kind of looks horrified and just confused at this hellish situation going on. Texas looks ready to bolt, but he's managing to stay put somehow.
We've
Showing a rare
conditioned
glimmer of intelligence from him.
Amazing.
That
and all
probably
it
hurt.
took was magical conditioning.
So, let's see. Okay, the Kasha, seeming to realize what is going on now that the spirit has been ripped out of him and it's been unanchored, sees Tommy stumble through the circle for the skull, and the Kasha, it seems to click if you can see, the light bulb go over the head of a fire cat. It falls to all fours, body, the bones instantaneously as if you blinked, and suddenly, instead of a humanoid, it's a massive tiger of bone and flame. It starts to charge towards the coyote skull itself. So, someone, this is going to be a snap reaction. Olivia, Hanzo, and Tommy, you're the closest ones there. Carlos or Connor, you might be able to do something with magic, but
I'm gonna just throw myself into it.
And I got a 7 to either. Oh, what? Would it be kick some ass or act under pressure?
Yeah, hold on for rolls until I ask for rolls.
Okay.
But yeah, to do what? What are you trying to do?
I guess
Kick some ass would be attacking the Kasha. Act under pressure would be doing something else, like if you wanted to protect the skull or do something else.
Yeah, I'd probably attack the Kasha.
Okay. You and Olivia both doing kick some ass then?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's doing. I want to see how Tommy does first.
Yeah, okay. Let me roll.
Tommy, since you are the closest one to the skull.
Yeah, I got a 9.
9? Okay. So kick some ass on a 9. Inflict harm on and suffer harm from. Okay. What are you attacking with?
Gonna hit it with the signature weapon, so it's gained 3 harm, messy heavy.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. And as you tumble to the ground, you see this thing charging towards you, and you just reach off back towards the edge of the circle where you had put your stuff, and you just swing this thing, clocking it on the face. You think maybe a tooth goes loose or maybe even falls out, but you're not sure as suddenly it like bowls you over, dealing would be 3 harm, but you have your armor to reduce it.
I just want to say, thank God for armor.
Yeah.
You're all probably gonna need a few days of like rest after this.
Fred's gotten
a
the
lot of-
shit beaten out of him several times.
Yeah.
And some burn ointment. So
Does it look like it slowed down the Kasha?
for the moment, but this is still kind of like bullet time.
Oh God.
Well, let's see. What would you do before I decide to see if the Magic Boys would want to do something? Caster Boys, since they're both C names.
Caster Boys.
The caster collaborate.
So does the skull need to be like visible for the spell to work?
Visible? Yeah, it has to. You have to put the thing in the thing.
Okay.
Oh, so I will say also. Actually, no. This can wait until after this little bullet time moment.
Freaking out.
If you want to go to,
I
Hanzo,
should
you're
do-
also right there. Hanzo, you there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Sorry, you've
I
been
just don't
very
wanna
quiet, Sorry.
I just don't want to interrupt anyone.
I mean, feel free to speak up if you have ideas or something you want to do.
Nope, yeah, I haven't been meaning to be a stick in the mud or anything. It's just, I figure I've been concentrating real hard. But hearing with the whole, it's trying to fucking break the receptacle, I'm just wondering now, is like, can I really intervene and keep chanting? Because that seems like a lot.
Actually, yeah, that would be the thing. Now that Tommy stopped you, you get the feeling that someone has to keep going. So, yeah, that might actually be a good point.
Yeah, he as much as he wants to intervene, he knows that he can't stop.
Okay,
How,
so
how heavy does the Kasha look? It's
fairly
bone.
big, but it's fairly big, but it's bone and.
I'm going to kick some ass.
Okay.
That's an 11 plus 1. And I'm gonna roll my precision strike. That's an 11 plus. What's that? The precision strike is. Tough. Okay, so that's also a 12. That's going to be
Are
a
you
plus
kicking ass?
2. Well, yeah, I'm kicking ass.
I said how? How are you kicking it?
So my gun didn't really seem to do anything. So like, I don't really have any weapons that could really do anything. Like I have a mallet and a stake, but that's not gonna do anything. So she
Those are wooden.
after like Tommy smacks it with the frying pan, she like gets up behind it, puts her arms under like its front legs, and she suplexes the Kasha.
All right. So you go up and you're just thinking, thank God for the fire for the suit, because even with it,
Absolutely.
you just feel this burning heat, and it's might be more the adrenaline than anything. Even though you are a pretty strong woman, it's you go up and you grab it, and yeah, it's almost unbelievable to watch this as you just see this silvery person, this person in silver getup, head to toe, just go up and fucking suplex this giant tiger over her shoulder into the ground. And you have You have completed the secret objective I assigned to you weeks ago. Suplex the tiger.
The secret objective is complete. Oh god, I gotta check what the 12 on Kicks Mass does.
You get extra.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find, looking at the extra effects.
Bang +1 forward, or give one forward and take terrible harm, or suffer less harm, or force them where you want them.
I want to force them where I want them, which is
Okay.
further away from the skull.
Can you get it closer to
and
me?
Yeah, it's actually closer to you.
So I can
And
proceed to beat
I don't
the
know how
shit
much
out of it.
damage. I don't know how much damage a suplex does, but whatever it does, it also gets a +2 on it from precision strike.
Okay, so yeah, you do. It seems more harmed by the indignity than the actual like sliding with the ground.
How dare.
But yeah, so it would take one burning harm as one harm as it's like kicking and.
And with that harm, I'm going to roll one more thing. This might go disastrously, but I've racked up quite a bit of damage. So, see, that's a 6 plus sharp. That's cool. So that's a 7, which is it wasn't as bad as it looked. Once per history, you may attempt to keep going despite your injuries. On a 7 to 9, you may either stabilize or heal 1 harm.
Okay, which are you
7,
like
so.
Are you critical condition or?
No, I've taken 3 harm, which is 1 more to put me into dying.
Yeah,
So,
I was worried that you were already in there. It's like, oh shit.
No, I'm keeping myself out of there. I have this one mystery, and this seems like the perfect time to use it.
So yeah, so you.
So I take.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
I'm just dying.
Winifred.
Right.
Kasha landed right in front of you, and you haven't had much to do, so.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of it. I'm gonna grab it by the
All
neck with my teeth and slam it on the ground again. So I'm a horrible feral monster.
All right.
I rolled
All
2
right, give me that kick
sixes.
some ass.
Hey!
Callie?
Do you have
Callie?
advanced kick some ass yet?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Callie,
What?
if I may make a suggestion that would be really funny,
Nah.
you turn into a tiger yourself.
I could only have 3 forms.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I could have another form, but that would, I don't know how useful that would be.
That'll
fair.
require
No.
like
That's fair.
Maybe that'll be
extra
later.
forms would require narrative stuff.
Yeah, that's later.
Monkey's pearl paw.
So, I
She
don't-
becomes like. Sorry.
It's good. I don't have advanced kick some ass, but that is a 12 plus a 3, so
Dang. Highest you can roll. That is the highest you can roll.
mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna force them
Kick
where I
some-
want them. That's an extra
Keep it
effect.
there.
Yeah, and
Yeah, because you get an extra effect. Yeah, you get the gain advantage where you take 1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter. Inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, force them where you want them.
fuck it, I'm just gonna inflict terrible harm because I'm chewing on it, and that means that I can technically eat it. Which means I'm just gonna look at it as I heal.
It's kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Energy vampires.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, Shady, that's the point of view that the Chupacabras got when Thundar got him.
Oh, thank you, Dice. That was very nice of you to do that for me.
Absolutely feral.
That's the inside side palate of an alligator's mouth.
So you just watch Winifred grab it from the ground by the neck and just kind of slam it backwards again. With her mouth.
Yeah, as Itzel's getting ready to bolt after Felix, she kind of Even with the helmet, you can tell she nods approvingly.
This is a revolving door of suplexing.
So terrible harm is double what I usually do, right? I think that's how that is.
Oh, +1.
+1. So
Extra,
that would be
an extra point of damage.
That would be 4.
Dang. Yeah, you just see just bits of this Kasha. Now that it's been evicted, it is now forced to be in the single form. It seems to be able to change it depending on what it's doing. It still seems restricted to this form because even though there are dust devils swirling around, you haven't seen any more of the other attack forms, if you could call them, of manifesting. But you just see bits of bone go flying off of it when you just slam it several times into the ground. I don't like the owlbear going after the lich in the D&D movie, but it's still struggling, and while it does seem to be getting some wear and tear from this repeated abuse, forced to be corporeal, well, mostly corporeal. And let's see, Carlos.
Yes.
Going to need one more roll. What is
Dice.
the next step?
Dice did not fail me again. So that's an
The
11 on
skull
the
is still technically intact, but the circle has been disrupted, so there is not as good of a chance as you would hope, but you believe there's still the chance to seal it within that skull. The skull is still intact.
Yes. I'm going to make sure that there is a policy that Carlos learned that, if you rely on circles too much, you'll get fucked because something will happen.
Something has happened.
So he's going to run over, grab the skull from Tommy, and then run over to the suplex Kasha and using magic slam dunk the skull into the Kasha. Because it's a lot easier to seal something either if you have its name written in a circle or if you're physically shoving it into a spirit.
Okay. Oh. I need you to use magic. But
Okay.
also, Connor,
Yes.
as this is going on, you feel this almost anger flare up from your little guest as it goes, "No, that's too nice. I need you to use magic with disadvantage. You're going to take the lower of the 3, or the lower of the 2.
Oh.
Okay.
You feel your body, the magic moving through you against your will.
Okay. First roll was. So now I need the third die. I could have just rolled 3. Why am I doing this unnecessarily? And a third die was a 5.
So what'd you get?
So I got it's like 2 2s and a 5. I think it was.
So a 4 plus whatever magic you have.
Yeah, plus 3.
Weird.
7.
7.
Yep, 7.
Okay. So
there is something he wanted to do. If he's allowed to retain his free will.
you have partial. You rest some of it, but the action is still going through whatever is doing. What do you want to do?
Connor's rolling off pure spite at the moment, and he just has a low guttural voice of, "I want those fucking fangs," in a very clear voice for some reason. And as he's casting magic, he's actually going to reach for him. His intent is to rot the root out and then rip the fangs straight out of the skull.
All right, you're trying to defang it. Awesome. So, yeah, it's that same thing, almost that decayed, almost scaled limb. You see it, but much more clear as your control is slightly taken from you, but you manage to reach in and put some of your own intent on it. As you reach out, unfortunately, Carlos, as you go to slam dunk this, you feel the magic welling up, the magic, your flame infuses this skull as the skull takes on that green flame, as if it burns at your touch, and you're getting ready to slam it down. And you see the fear in the Kasha as it realizes it is about to be defeated and sealed away again, as it starts struggling against Winifred and Olivia. But you just feel this wave of nausea wash. Everyone feels this wave of nausea wash over them as suddenly the flames, similar to when the curse or whatever the hex was hit on the first Kasha manifestation, the flames flicker, the green flames flicker, and then go black before the skull itself rots and decays and crumbles in your hand. But you see, in that same action, the decay reaches the skull of the Kasha, and the fangs fall out and then fly out towards Connor's hand.
And he grabs him.
Fuck.
Well then.
Fortunately, the receptacle has been destroyed, and the
Sorry.
Kasha, and you hear your passenger go. Now it goes. Now we can be creative.
I have a suggestion.
It needs the dead, yes? It needs to be sealed within the dead? There's a fresh body right there. And you feel your hand turn and point towards Soda.
No, we just stopped that.
And then you feel your hand point up towards that same swirling smoke that lingers above Soda's body. And it goes. Then how about this? We are a willing partnership. Let's make it the servant. You can have everything. Bring that poor child back. Punish the wicked.
That's a fun option.
I kind of like that actually.
You want a new cousin?
just
You
frown.
feel
I go,
just
"Yes,
this-
you're not
this-
very good at negotiating if you're bringing up family."
And like out of the corner of your eye, you just see that twisted, too wide, sickly grin.
I'm gonna fucking roll for it because I don't fucking know.
What you rolling for?
See if he agrees with it. Yeah, I'm gonna say he does. Fuck it. This is the weirder option, so I'm going for it. Apologies, people.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a nod, and he's just say sometimes a servant might do it good.
So, Honor, you know what your little ally there is suggesting, yes?
Basically, bond Soda to the curse, much like they are.
Pretty much, yes. And if what it says is true, Soda might live again.
Yeah. He doesn't hate that option. He just has no idea. Soda's gonna be very pissed about it. He's gonna have a magical cat of hate. We'll see. He's agreeing to it.
All right. You and Carlos, what do you do now? Because you know this spell came from Connor. And the Kasha is there, kind of like in pain after having its teeth ripped out and decay spread through it a bit.
That
And
is
you're
a
just
good
left there
question.
holding the crumbled dust of the skull.
I will say that having seen Connor's and a skeletal hand start pulling teeth out, that is immediately like, that is a problem we will deal with later. I'm looking to see what all of the options are for use magic, because I don't quite remember. but I have lost.
It
my
wasn't
view.
skeletal. It was more withered, like I think horned king, like undead kind
It
of
wasn't
withered.
Connor's normal hand.
Yeah,
There wasn't enough mucus on it for that.
yeah. It was like
Um,
I was kind of like a scaly leprosy kind of look. Oh, he is not possessed by Killer Croc.
Waylon Jones is a good boy. You leave him out of this.
No, I know he is. I love Killer Croc. He's one of my favorite Batman rogues.
Well, apparently, underused magic, I do have the ability to banish a spirit or curse from the person, object, or place it inhabits. Maybe I can do that to banish it from this plane.
Unfortunately, from what your ritual research has said and what you've learned, this thing, if it's not sealed, from what you learned from Suze, it will be freed. It needs to be bound. This is one of those things where if it is not bound, even if it is banished, it is then freed. It will be banned. You get the feeling that you can banish it from the valley. You do get that feeling, but it will manifest somewhere else.
But then that's someone else's problem, and not ours. But no, yeah, I think
The
Connor's...
ritual is still this ritual is still in motion. There is just you need the receptacle, and you see as you look over at Connor, you see the hand pointing at the body. Well, you see Connor's hand pointing.
Carlos looks to it briefly. I look around. Is there any other alternative? Say,
There's Ricky, but he's a very crispy corpse.
yeah, we don't need him to do that. Carlos sighs, looks to Hanzo, who and like mouths, "I'm sorry," and then proceeds to try to do the ritual with the body of the kid, hoping his soul has moved on.
Then I will need use magic with advantage.
Oh, there's advantage.
The ritual bin has been prepped. The vessel is as primed as it ever will be.
That
The time
is a.
nigh.
It is a 12.
A 12? Alright. How does it look like when Carlos banishes this or seals this thing within the corpse of Soda Saburo?
He's going to take his magic hands, glowing in green gloves, grab it by its spine because there's now a nice hole that we put into its spine, lifts it up with a strength that's not normally his, drags it over very quickly like it's on fire because it is on fire.
And it is flailing and struggling and trying to break free, but you just have this supernatural grip on it.
And I just look at the Kasha and I'm like, this better if you come out of this guy doing the same shit again, I'm not going to be nice the next time. Next time it is going to be a rock. And I just shove it into him.
And as you drag it, it's like similar to how it looked inside the boat, where the skeleton just seemed to turn to sand. But this time, as you rip it towards the body, it turns to smoke and ash and burning embers as it just seems to funnel towards the body. Almost grotesquely, you realize they funnel in through the bullet holes.
Ugh.
And you watch as the body jolts and jerks as following the smoke of the Kasha, you look up as you see as if pulled in by like a drain or gravity. You see the ashes of Soda's soul drift down gentler this time and flow, like not into the mouth or the nostrils, but like through the face of the body, because they were laying on their front, head kind of turned to the side, as two spiritual essences disappear into the body. There's just silence for long moments as the dust storm fades. Well, silence except for the pounding of feet as you realize Itzel is suddenly taking off full sprint after where Felix ran off into the storm.
Oh, fuck.
That's
Ginger, you see, kind of sitting there. She had scrabbled back to where there was like a nearby boulder to take cover, and is just kind of pokes her head up a little not flabbergasted, but just looking wary. No, I am not going to restart my computer now. Off Windows. It's like the worst timing. Jesus. It's just like all of a sudden I got worried. My screen turned blue. I'm like, oh no. Oh.
It's not the monster that scares Ginger. It's the Windows updates coming forward.
But she's looking and, you know, kind of clutching where it looked like her arm and shoulder were severely burned. But Texas also just kind of, when everything seems to stop and the flames of the ritual flicker out and the dust storm dwindles, he just kind of falls back on his ass and is just kind of sitting there like panting as you realize he was starting to hyperventilate from just panic, and then he's just it's just, you see these long moments as the body's just laying there.
Fucking hell, Connor. What the fuck?
What?
The Soda jumps up, like pushes himself as if suddenly gasping to life, eyes bloodshot, and he's coughs several times, and instead of like, there is blood that he coughs up, like this dark, like almost rotten blood, but he coughs it up as Carlos, you're close enough to see where the bullet wounds, they almost seem like old cauterized wounds. But or not wounds, but scars. Like they were healed long ago, but you saw the bullet wounds when those fire flowed into it. But when he coughs, he spits up some blood flies out, but also like embers. Like a few, like he coughs out a puff of smoke burning with embers a few times, and then eventually it clears, and he just kind of pushes himself up, looking around with panic in his eyes, and he goes, "It was all real."
Yeah.
And then he looks down at his body and like lifts up his shirt, and now everyone can see where he had been shot in the stomach, because he had been shot in the stomach and then the back. He like touches the bullet wound, and that you see that burn scar.
Well, good news, you're not dead anymore.
Carlos, what did you do?
I had to improvise because someone, and he looks over to Connor, and there is like, Carlos has been like a happy-go-lucky guy, very casual. This is the most serious he looked up because somebody interrupted. But good news is the kid's back.
Connor, you hear the voice go, "You'd think they'd be appreciative. They always get so testy when the innocent die, but there he is."
To be fair, it was a dick move.
Not to point out the obvious, and she's like whispering.
Yeah, Connor,
this
you
to Hanzo.
hear like a mean chuckle after you say that.
She's
He's
whispering.
acknowledging it was a bad choice. Sorry.
Wait, it's good. To Hanzo, she's like, I don't want to point out the obvious, but wasn't that kid like at a funeral? His own funeral?
Nope.
No, I don't think he didn't have a funeral.
Soda's body was never recovered. They just
Okay.
assumed he was
They
dead.
just assumed he was dead.
Like-
Alright.
Yeah, his brother, his girlfriend, and his best friend were all discovered dead with signs of him being dragged off. They believed he was.
Also dead. Alright.
So
He was. Yeah, they're operating under the assumption that he was dead, and that's the feeling that you like when Fred and Hanzo went to speak with his mother, she had basically accepted. That was something I realized in re-listening. Is like, oh wait, shit! I never pointed out more. I never clarified that. You know, it was
His
Missy
body was never
assumed
found.
dead.
Because I was wondering, he's like, did he just get ripped out of his own funeral? Because that would be awkward.
No.
He just gets ripped out of his funeral like a Nope, just a pillar of dust.
Olivia like has her hands up like whoa, you know, that kind of motion. Hey, Soda. Soda,
Welcome
is
back
that
to the
you?
land
Looks
of
up
the
at
living.
you wildly.
Is that you
And
in there?
He goes, yeah. And then he like clutches his chest. He's like, oh, like the worst case of heartburn I've had. And then he like starts coughing again, and again there's just like a few embers that drift out of him.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're gonna have to get
Nothing
used to that.
significant.
Good news or
What?
bad? Would you like the good news or the bad news?
And he's like kind of like, what? And then he's like kind of starts looking around, sees where Ginger had started approaching Texas. She's kind of like sidestepping around everyone. She's and he kind of he sees them, and then he's like, his eyes harden, and he goes, and he starts breathing heavier, and you just see like Olivia, because you're the one closest, you and Carlos, you see just like this heat wave start rippling around his hand.
Ooh, hey, Soda, Soda.
Hey, bud.
And he's like, what? And he's like, and then like when he like almost realizes what he like just that intense, and he like blinks out of it. Now that he's no longer looking at them. He's like, oh god.
Okay. So, good news, bad news. Good news, you were dead, and now you're not. Bad news, the thing that you had become, kind of bound to you in a person. So don't look that way while we make sure that the people that are over there, Carlos says, glancing over, get lost. So it's been about.
Does anyone?
Hey guys,
Yeah.
do you still need me holding this bell?
You can put the bell
No,
down now.
No, you're good, boss.
Okay, I'm gonna put the bell down.
Right in the back.
Did a fantastic job, Fred.
Yeah, I meant to say that each time there was like a ripple effect, it coincided with the bell strike. I should have mentioned that. Like each time there was like some like big blow, it coincided with Fred keeping time with the bell.
No problem. It was a emotionally high situation.
Yeah.
And juggling a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I got the suplex. I gotcha.
Secret objective unlocked.
Secret objective unlocked. It's over now, Soda. You're
Not
back.
dead anymore.
You're back. It's,
Bad news. Everybody else thinks you're dead. You've been missing for a week.
we can bullshit that.
Oh yeah, no. The entire plan is going to be we were out on a friendly hike and we found him wandering in the desert.
We'll workshop it.
Ahem.
Yes.
Oh, this is Hanzo.
He doesn't make the coughing noise. Sorry, I just want to do that myself. He is approached now. Oh.
Yeah.
And while he's not saying anything, he's got a very intense glare going on.
To who? At who?
The general situation.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, you stop being so fucking prudy and just say something.
Soda Karada.
Kind of looks up at you. It's like, yes.
I met your mother.
He looks up because he was like rubbing at his face. He's like, is she okay?
Morning. Both your brother and you.
And it seems he frowns, and then it just just looking at his face, you all can realize it just starts coming flooding back to him. He's like, oh, no, no. And he like
Hey,
just
hey.
face
Look
in his hands starts
Look at
like
me.
almost weeping.
It's fine.
After
That's gonna
a
suck.
moment, he's go ahead.
So there's gonna be a lot of shit that we really should not be explaining to you because you're gonna be going through a lot of things right now. So you're gonna come into my restaurant later when you got your stuff sorted out. In the meantime, here, hold on to this. I've heard
Hey.
holding family
Yeah,
mementos
you're
is important, and he just puts the soda's book in his hand. There will be a folded
Yeah.
corner on the Kasha page. But
he like sorry, when you like when you say something about diner, he kind of looks at you almost quizzically. And then he's like wait, you're the hash slinger. And then he like looks down at the book as you shove it in his hands. He's like, oh, and he just kind of like hugs it to his chest.
Hey, kid, soda. Do you
Wait,
need a
how old
hug?
is hold on? How old is Olivia again? I can't
Oh
remember
God,
if they were,
she's
Good
like I think
20s?
she's around 30.
Oh,
okay, so she wouldn't have been in his class. Yeah, he was
No,
young.
she's
Okay.
like, oh God, I can't remember the exact age. She's around 30 because like she's gone through college and transitioned. So
Right. Actually, there is one character that, because I said the two of you went to the same high school, I could look up their age, but that would take me long to find them in the list.
we can do that later.
Yeah.
Kid, hey, do you need a hug?
And he kind of like looks up and just kind of gives like a silent nod.
Oh,
He looks like he's on the verge of a breakdown. Just
she'll wrap her arms around him. So wear your fireproof shit, but wrap her arms around him and just like hold him for as long as he needs. And like she looks up to Hanzo and Carlos and mouths, what now?
That's the question, isn't it?
Continuing to mouth, she's like, maybe someone should go find Itzel.
And I was actually about to say, Tommy, you look, you turn back. I'm going to assume that maybe you're the one keeping watch on the bikers.
Yeah, he is.
You look over, like Ginger helped Texas undo his hands because they've been tied behind his back, but you realize like they kind of see you, although they don't really look like they're not getting ready to run. They just seem more like they don't look like they're in the state to run, or at least Ginger's not.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see as the dust storm starts to settle, because it was still a lot of sand and dust kicked up, so it'll take a while for it to clear completely. But you see Itzel marching back, dragging a Felix, not like across the ground, but kind of. He's like trying to keep up, but she's marching too fast as she has both his hands bent behind his back, so she's more like dragging him across his knees through the gravel and the dirt. You know, he's got long jeans on, but still that's gonna fuck up his legs. And she's very clearly not being gentle with him, but it looks like due to the dust on both of them, they had a bit of a tussle, and her helmet is actually the visor is actually cracked. It looks like maybe he had picked up a rock or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
Tommy's going to walk closer to the bikers to make sure they don't get any ideas.
Yeah, looking at them, Tex isn't armed. Ginger, she seems more concerned with like trying to put something on her shoulder, like, like looking at it, this is a severe burn on her shoulder, and you actually see that if it wasn't burned, the claw mark in it would probably be a very big, a gusher of a wound. But it looks like the claw cauterized it. you're not like looking at it. You're not sure without like some. You get the feeling that she's gonna need some serious surgery, or she might lose the use of her arm, or even maybe lose the arm itself. This wound is bad, and you're kind of surprised she's managing to like bear it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she's gonna lose an arm. Pity.
Oh no.
Yeah, how horrible.
Yeah, you get the feeling she's not running because she realizes I need to get to a hospital, even if it's under police escort.
I've lost sympathy for you guys. What little I had,
Yeah,
what
but
little I
it's
had
all-
is now gone.
Itzel marches the guy up, and you see Tommy now that she's they're up close. His lips been split from a punch. He's got what looks to be like a nice black eye developing. Yeah, they definitely had a tussle, but tosses him, and you realize that his hands have actually been handcuffed. You didn't realize she had handcuffs on her, but and she hands you like a gun. It's just like a simple snub nose revolver.
Mhm.
She's like, fucker tried to pull this on me, but too quick for him, knocked out of his hand. Then he decided to hit me with a rock. And she like tips up the visor. It's just like she looks pissed but satisfied that she got him. She's like, she goes, I may have worked out a little bit of aggression on him. He probably will need to get those broken ribs checked.
Hey, you broke something though. So, in all honesty, he had it coming.
Yeah, the thing broke his arm first, but it was only his left arm, and he's a righty. But she's there, and she's kind of she looks to the other two, and she goes, Ginger, and Ginger kind of nods and goes, Itzel, and Itzel goes, two of you behave. I won't put you on the ground like I'm debating with Felix. And like they both kind of nod, like, okay, yeah, sure. They seem, the two of them seem appropriately cowed by the situation, while Felix is more in a surly, concussed silence.
A dumbass, right?
Yeah. But, Soda, they walk up. He looks over at them, and again, there's that anger in his eyes. But it's almost now that he's aware of it, he closes his eyes and takes a deep breath, and even though there's that shimmer of heat around him for a moment, it dissipates, and then he's like, every time I look at them, I want to kill them. I need to get out of here.
Yes. Soda, we're going to take you to Carlos's diner to sort this out, and then I'm going to take you home.
Yes, we have to tell my mom. Oh God, what am I going to tell her about Soda? I mean, Saburo. He didn't mix up his own name. That was DM. Fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I will be
Oh
there.
no, the souls got switched.
I wouldn't say. I would think, in this sort of a situation, she's just gonna be happy to have you there.
Yeah. You don't need to tell anybody anything for a while. Just take some time and
Remember, we were supposed to meet them. Damien was going to introduce us. He said we would be able to make good money, and that it'd all work out. And then and he kind of glances back, and that anger hardens in his eyes, but he doesn't. As he looks over at Felix, he goes, but then he just pulled out a gun and shot my friend, and then Saburo, they started shooting us. They shot me, and I ran.
Soda.
I remember fire.
You don't need to talk.
And he's like, and he kind of gets this 1,000-yard stare as he seems to be reliving it, and then he goes, the scariest thing is I remember how good it felt to kill them. it was satisfaction. And then he like shudders and shakes his head. He goes, I need to get out of here.
We'll get to use some therapy.
Yes.
But just the bluntness of that statement, it kind of almost shocks him out of it for a moment. He's like, because who do you even talk to about stuff like this?
I've got a phone number back at the ride.
He's got a phone number back.
I know a
at
guy.
you.
I know a guy.
He also has good prices on TVs.
We're not gonna get into that. But yeah, we're gonna have.
just
We're gonna get in the
The
car
back
with
of-
Hanzo.
It's the fall off the back of a truck discount.
What was that?
Talking to Soda's like, we're gonna go with Hanzo. We're gonna go to the diner. Specifically, we're gonna go to my residence behind the diner. We're gonna get you patched up and a little more centered, and then he's gonna take you to go see the family. And because of that, and because everyone else came in my car, Carlos turns around, throws any of the keys. Don't leave her in a ditch, please. And just
Because you showed up with Olivia's truck, Yerk, Jalopy, and Hanzo's car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna roll something to see if I have it in my truck, just because I think it would help. So
no drugs.
Your truck is actually fairly
No.
close because your truck was like the only car or vehicle that could handle driving out, into this part of the desert.
Yeah, she's not going to give the drugs. That's what the horse doctor is for.
God damn it.
Mhm.
Well, that's a 7, so it'll take some time to get it. But I imagine the car will take some time to get it, right?
What are you getting?
The Chupacabra plushie.
It would be at your car. I'd say you probably keep that with. I could see Olivia driving around with that in the
Dashboard,
in the
yeah.
window. But yeah, I'll just give it to you. That's something Olivia would either keep at home with other plushes or keep it with her. So yeah, the car.
Mm-hmm.
I will grab it when we get to the car.
And she looks at you, Tommy, and then to the others she goes, so what do we do with these? Load them up, take them to the cops, or call the cops out here? And she kind of looks at now that the ritual is complete, the ritual circle, the chalk is burned away, but it is now, the lines are now scorched into the soil, like as if they were burnt with gasoline. And you see, but there's also, and she also points to the still kind of smoking body of Ricky.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a good
Yes.
point.
This is
Hanzo.
going to be a little difficult to explain.
Not exactly. Bikers kidnap someone, torture gone wrong.
Yep, they were the fuckers making Epiphany, so we're dealing it.
Under the bus you go.
He's like, yeah, fuck these guys.
Most of what we're accusing him of is correct, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was internal conflict because of drug money. Yeah, a couple of them ended up dead. Concerned
Yeah.
citizens figured out something was going wrong and busted them
And
before they all died.
Ethel goes, she goes, oh, I'm totally okay to claim that this was me being a vigilante to get, for revenge. The cops will believe that, and I've handled
No,
them
we're not.
before.
We're not blaming you, that's all.
I think
no,
we should
no.
all
I'm
go
saying-
out for
I'm saying
frosty
you can use
chocolate
me as the
milkshake.
scapegoat. She goes,
Yeah,
no,
but-
you can use me as the scapegoat for, pulling them in. And Ginger and Texas kind of they both seem to grimace, but they realize Texas seemed to accept that he's not getting out of this without going to jail at the end of it.
I
Ginger
tried!
seems to be
She's
accepting
saying
it.
Sorry.
I tried, asshole!
She's saying she wants the street cred.
Basically,
Alright, you know what? You know what?
it'll do her good to say, it's like, see, this is why you don't fuck with me. I will get you eventually.
Well,
You know what?
I guess that means she could claim to being the flame-handed killer.
Oh,
No,
That would kind of put her
It-
immediately in
well,
jail.
that would...
just say she was copycatting.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to say that. Then they'll arrest me next.
Yeah. We're trying to avoid
I
that.
suggest. I wouldn't suggest that a character. It's just.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you
Maybe
want
that
to
was
take credit
just-
for stopping them from, whatever the fuck this was that they were doing, of course.
Getting rid of the evidence before they split.
They're saying they're going to kill the kid. He gestures to Soda.
Last person that
Do we
could have
wanna-
ratted him out completely. Yeah, sure.
And she kind of looks around. She looks down at the circle, kind of scuffs it. You can't really. It's burned into the ground. It's weird. She's scuffing the top layer of dirt. Doesn't seem to get rid of it. And she kind of stops and she goes, "Well, there was that whole satanic panic that, I mean, it's half the reason why they named themselves Hell's Coyotes. They could say they were,
Man,
and
really?
she kind of
You're gonna rely on the satanic panic?
and she got, I wasn't being serious, but, it does look like,
Look, I had a roommate get investigated by the cops because they were an atheist.
she kind of squirts at that and she goes, "What?"
You could just say this is them trying to instill fear.
They're the Hell Coyotes.
Yeah, and she kind of backhand, not hard, but smacks the back of Felix's head, and it's just I want to put it past this asshole. And he kind of shoots a glare behind him, but he's you get the feeling that he's in this moment where he's in handcuffs, he's kneeling on the ground, and he realizes if I say, it's not the first time where it's I know if I speak, I'm just going to get myself more in trouble. He's got the right to silence vibe going.
Well, he should. He's smarter than Texas.
Oh my god,
yeah, he's
shocking.
I mean, he is the leader of the gang.
Shocking!
The leader of the bunch.
We know him well.
He's finally back from the depths
How
of
you
hell.
doing, Fred?
I'm severely burned again. Not great.
Yeah, I feel you, Fred. I was wearing this shit, but god damn, that hurt.
I think we're at the point where I'm gonna need some skin grafts. I might need to go to the actual hospital this time.
I think I might too.
So,
she
Olivia, real quick, what
Yeah?
are the wings of your haven? I know there's the workshop for the cars.
Oh.
You have the panic room, and then is it the medical wing?
I do have panic workshop, infirmary. You can heal people up here and have the space for 1 or 2 people to recuperate. The keeper will
Right,
tell you
right.
how long a patient's recovery is likely to take, and if you need extra supplies or help.
Okay, so yeah.
Honestly, does that sound like he could go? We could go there, or
You might
Did he-
have to talk to Lucia, but yeah, you get the feeling you might have to talk to Lucia, but you're pretty sure that you're not sure about skin grafts, but the medical wing is very advanced.
yeah, Olivia.
She was a researcher for pluripotent, and
They could clone you
has
some
the-
skin.
I have a lot of third-degree burns, and some of them have been in spots that had third-degree burns the day prior and third-degree burns the day prior to that have been attempted to have been healed only to be burned again. So I'm pretty sure I'm actually kind of fucked up severely in some respects.
Fred, I'll be honest with you. The preserve probably has some better medical stuff than actual hospitals. We'll see what.
You sure about that? Because I'm
Yes.
pretty sure this for humans.
Yes, my boss used to work for Pluripotent, the people who have revolutionized modern medicine.
All right. Don't know why your preserve needs human parts, but okay.
I don't know that they have human parts. My point is that like they've got stuff.
You work with dangerous animals, someone's gonna get mauled.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of stretching the realism a bit.
Either that or Pluripotent has like some creatures that were once humans in the park.
That or it's like for
They're not stretching it though.
people.
What damage are you at, Fred?
I have 3 harm.
Yeah, I had that just a second ago before I used my.
Here's the thing. I feel like mechanically it's not that bad, but I also feel like okay, realistically though,
dude.
I'm a normal dude, and I have gotten 3rd-degree burns 3 times in as many days.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Like, logistically speaking, that's actually gonna fuck you up real bad. Because the healing process was interrupted twice. With
Both
more of the
arms,
thing.
And then this blast, yeah.
Also,
like, if it had just been once, it'd be fine to paper
Tommy
over.
tried to patch you up the one time and fucked it up.
Oh, he fucked it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Brett's in a concussion. Also, to why the preserve would have like things to treat people, just in case they need to treat their handlers if some of the rougher creatures
I
act
want to
up.
point out all of Olivia's scars that she has got from this job.
Yeah, the blade baboons were a mistake. But
Anyway, my head now is that somewhere in that pluripotent reserve, there are at least a few creatures that were once human beings that aren't anymore.
No, they're.
Why do the giant colipopods have human hands? Oh well, probably just a quirk of evolution.
Wait a fucking second. Is this where thylacine came from?
It might be. We'll
see. Know that.
We'll fucking find out. I need to give Olivia some burn stats. Cool.
The preserve are where the clone thylacines were kept, and before they were shipped back to Australia and New Zealand. So, you're all marching back towards the vehicles. Soda is guided with Carlos and Hanzo. And Itzel and Tommy and probably Winifred are marching the other 3. What do you want to do about Ricky? Just leave him there, or?
I mean, we touch it. We're putting our fingerprints all over that body.
Yeah. And he deserves to sit for a couple of days, for a little bit.
Could just call it in.
Exactly.
That's what we're gonna do. We're just getting our story straight.
We'll say that between the jalopy and the truck, there is enough room for everyone that's going back to the preserve. Actually, where are you taking? Yeah, question. Where are you taking the bikers? Itzel's like, I left my bike at the preserve, so I'm gonna need a ride back there eventually. But,
yeah, that's why I brought it up to Hanzo.
Because I think you all parked at the. I can't remember. It was like the farm, I think, Barrett's farm, where the guy got chupacabra'd.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, nobody's home. We can sit here until the cops come. Hanzo, you said you've been talking to a detective or something with the case?
Yes.
And Hanzo,
good.
you actually remember you have a. He wants to. He actually. You're going to meet up with him now after all this, but you were planning to. He said he wanted to meet and talk with you about the case and other things concerning Pluripotent Epiphany.
Yep. Let me call the detective.
Oh, hey, Soda.
And he kind of looks over. He's been making sure that whatever side the bikers are on, he's on the opposite side of the group.
Yeah. Oh, good. You need something to keep your mind off things right now. And she hands him the plushie. Here, hold on to this for me.
Kind of looks at it skeptically for a moment, as if some part of him wants to be like, "I'm 23, I'm not a kid," but he does. He does end up like taking it and just kind of holds it with the book, and he goes, "Huh, I think I had one of these when I was a kid."
It's very good. The hug.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Was this a Chewie the Chupacabra's plush?
Yes, it was. It's Chewie the Chupacabra. I
He
got it
goes,
at
"I
the
remember that
antique
show."
store.
Yeah, I think it's like he kind of like smile. There's like a faint smile. It's not very big. It's just the first kind of hint of a smile since waking up.
Aw.
And he's kind of like, huh, I remember watching that show with my, and then the smile fades and goes, "Mr. Subaru," and then kind of
It's
shakes his head. He's like,
it's almost as if this kid was forced to grow up too fast.
yeah, that is what his mom kind of gave the vibe of
Mhm.
when their father passed away. But so you go to your car, and you're gonna call the detective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You do see there is actually a message waiting,
Click.
and it goes, "Agent Hanzo, it's McLean. To talk. Apparently, you found our leak and you turned him over to the police rather than bringing him in so we could debrief him before doing that ourselves. Gonna need
Hey, I
to
found
talk to you about. Need you to come and talk once you're able to get." And sorry, he'd be a little more clear about this. Kind of stumbling
Yeah.
over my words. He goes, "Need you to come in so we can debrief and discuss this."
He knows the code. He's fucked up.
Yeah, he's not like angry sounding. You haven't really heard this. He's a professional, so it's not like he's super angry. But yeah, you get the feeling that it's like, whoops, manager's calling me in for a chat.
Yeah. He processes that information. Clicks to call the detective.
Okay, and it takes a bit, but eventually the line picks up and it goes, "Detective Bentley," and you hear what sounds like the background noises of the precinct.
Detective,
Agent Hanzo.
I was intending to meet you, but instead I think it's like you were coming to me.
Oh,
The rest of the Hell's Coyotes have been apprehended.
I have a little bit of mixed feelings with your seeming trend of vigilantism, but this you got them. This will save us some time and a headache. All right, where are you at?
He tells them which particular farm, and
Okay,
in addition, we have found Soda Karada alive.
Good. His mother was, after meeting her, and she needs some good news. We didn't want to tell her that. And he goes, anyways, we were afraid that they were keeping him hostage or captive, so this is good. How is he?
He's understandably not well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll send the patrol cars to pick them up. Is he injured? Is he?
Physically, he's fine. Nothing urgent. The
All right.
bikers, on the other hand, they will require medical attention.
All right, so I should send a hospital with the patrol cars. Got it. Or
Yes.
an ambulance. Not send the whole hospital. So he goes, all right. Yeah, we'll send them over, and still want to talk to you. There's
Of course.
lots of weirdness. And he goes, well, I'll see you in a bit. And he hangs up. So, so what you want to do?
He steps out of the
Wait for
car.
him.
So I've informed the detective and the police are on their way. They will
Well,
take
hey.
the bikers off our hands.
Alright. So we're gonna wait at the farm for them, or
That's the plan.
It's all goes. I mean, not all of us have to. And
Yeah,
she goes, I got out of that fairly clean, and I can stay here and keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
The
if
rest
you
of
want,
you go
it's
get
all I
patched
can
up.
take you to go get your bike.
Oh, honestly, I'll just walk back.
That's alright. Alright.
She's kind of like thinking about it. She's like, yeah, it's not that far of a walk. Got my helmet. I'll be fine.
Alright.
But we all probably shouldn't be here waiting for the police because this is a lot of
Yeah.
extra witnesses that'll
Yes.
have corroborating stories.
That's what I wanted
Yeah,
to say.
that's why she's like, yeah, shoo. Me and the corporate spook can handle this. And she,
Yeah,
Fred?
she goes, and she looks at you and she goes, I mean that in the nicest way.
Fred,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to the preserve, get you looked at,
Okay.
and then if need be, take you to the hospital from there, right?
Okay.
That's something Hansa did want to say. Is like, we won't need so many. Make yourselves scarce.
Mhm. Yeah, Tommy's going to go with Olivia and Fred because
I think us three need it the most. How are you looking, Winifred?
Winifred only has one harm. She's good.
Yeah, fuck you.
That will go away later.
Yeah, because you're a vampire. You heal.
Look,
Us three.
if I bite somebody, I get life drain. And then I have
Yeah.
unquenchable vitality. I am fine. I will literally just fucking regrow my skin.
I think us three need it the most. Then, yeah. As they're walking, it's like I think some of my fireproof stuff has fused to my skin.
Oh God.
I suplexed him.
So before we start vanishing off into our
Scattering like rats.
Winifred's gonna take a second and just go over to Soda real quick when nobody's looking. She's gonna touch him very gently on the shoulder. Hey, kid.
He seemed to be in thought, and he kind of holds and he's like, oh, yes. Yeah?
Her eyes are really serious. Like, you know that sensation you were talking about? Don't hold that against yourself.
Relishing
Yeah,
the
it takes
whole
some,
killing them.
Yeah, it took him a second to realize what she meant, and then he kind of looks away, and then he goes,
Don't hold that against yourself, kid.
I'll try.
Take it from me, I'm older as shit. You can't hold that against yourself.
And he nods. You're not sure if he's like actually listening or if that's just like habit, but he does seem to well, it's not that he's like not listening. You're not sure if it's sunk it in yet. He's still a little shell shocked, as it were.
It's fair. She just wanted to make sure that somebody told him that because she knows what it's like to get platitudes. She's not gonna give him
Yeah.
one.
It took him a second, but he seems to get where you're coming from as he realizes like just what you are. He's lived in Plurpon not Plurpon. He hasn't lived in the corporation his whole life. He's lived in
God, that
Redemption
would
his whole
suck.
life. So yeah, he's like, so he knows that there are vampires around. He might have even seen you around. Like there might be a vague recognition. Actually, yeah, especially since they were known for going to Carlos's diner occasionally. There might have been some times where you've like crossed paths without really, knowing each other. It's not too big of a town, so paths cross.
Yeah, I might not look completely like myself because I keep dyeing my hair purple, and I have been for at least a decade, and it's run, and now my hair is white.
Oh dang. Yeah, well, also you have a very distinct fashion sense.
Yeah,
It's also fair.
you're an angry rainbow.
So, you all pile into the truck and the jalopy, and you part the. Oh, is Soda going to stay with Hanzo and Itzel and Carlos, or Carlos, were you staying, or?
I was giving my keys so I could stay, but if need be, I can take people over to the preserve.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you said you gave Winifred the key so she could drive people over to the preserve. So I was just trying to.
So it's one of those. There was talks about.
I'm just trying to figure out who's staying and who is going back to the preserve, because everyone is either going or staying. But also, if Soda is staying or if he's going to the preserve before going to the diner.
So the question to us is, should I stay or should I go now?
You should go now so you can get medical.
Yeah, I know. I'm going. I'm on the go team.
I think Soda should
Honestly,
stay here. Honestly,
I honestly shouldn't even be driving, but
to be honest, I think Soda should stay here because Hanzo did say that they found him,
Yes.
and him not being here when the cops get here would look a little weird.
yeah.
Yes. So Soda needs to stay, and Soda was gonna go from here to the diner. So it's.
So
I think Connor would go in with the evacuation crowd.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just Han. Oh, sir, go ahead.
Sorry, just a real quick thing. So before he does like pack up for the road, he's going to look at the two fangs. He's like, part of him's like, why the fuck do I want these so bad? It's like, wait, they're rad, but then like he's thinking about it for a bit, and he moves over to Soda, and he's going to offer him one of the fangs. Because here, it's a part of the thing that tried to puppet you.
And he kind of looks up and then at the fang in your hand as he like frowns for a minute in thought before reaching out and taking it, and he goes,
Things connected to things like that tend to have power, and it's probably going to do you a lot more good than me.
oh, Lydia.
Just Lydia.
And he goes, he's looking at it in his hand, and then he nods, and he goes, thank you. And then he like looks up to you, and then he goes, thank you. And he kind of like lowers his voice, and he goes, one of the things I do remember is I saw you a few times.
His eyes kind of just go wide at that. And he's gonna say, so look, kid, I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't know I could save you. I was just trying to fuck it over.
And it kind of, there's like a small, like, bitter laugh that escapes him, and he goes, I mean, end result's the same, I guess.
All the same, I prefer you alive.
that gets a more sincere laugh out of it. Goes, oh, me too. And it's the first time he's like, actually laughed a bit. But
They're close to the same age bracket, so yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, it was like dreams. I like saw you by the cactus that I guess I woke it up from, and then again I saw you stumble out of a storm into a field. It's just that thing, and he kind of like frowns and he lowers his voice again so that just Connor could hear it. He goes, "It knew that you and that he kind of." You see his eyes shift as if he's looking at something over your shoulder, and then he shakes his head, and he goes, whatever that thing is, they hate each other. It knew that it wanted to kind of scoffs and goes, fuck him over. Or fuck it over.
They're creatures of a similar type. They don't like each other at all.
And he kind of nods and he goes, and then he kind of, there's like a pause and he goes, is it okay if I talk to you if I need someone? And he's just like,
shit.
Mhm.
Just kind of like, seems like
there is like a little, like, you think it might be like the wind at first, but there's like a little
Which one was it?
it was, you heard it, so it's just like you get the sense, just like, oh, you normally, it's just like, actually no, it does say, normally you're the one who avoids, the repercussions of things. This will be interesting.
He's just gonna take a sharp inhale and go, well, okay. It's gotta be different, but it can't be that different, I guess. I don't know the specifics, but the wording was for it to become a servant. So your relationship should probably be a lot better with it than mine is with mine.
And he goes, don't know what that means, but
you're not going to be jaked around for a random wads, probably.
And he kind of nods and he goes, well, just thank you.
Again, no problem. I didn't intend to do this until literally the moment of. So honestly, you owe me nothing. Just, it's like, shit, what do normal kids do? Go hug your family?
And he kind of, like, there is, like, another small laugh as he kind of gets that this is kind of a more awkward situation for you now than it is for him. And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna... And then there's just, like, almost like a wistful sigh. It's like, I can't wait to see my mom.
Aww.
Yeah, you could have to talk to the tall spooky guy about that one. I never met her.
Yeah, and he nods, and he kind of looks back over at the bikers and just scowls before looking away and goes,
yeah, don't worry, we're putting all this on them.
And he nods and he goes, and then he blinks. Well, no, he goes, well, vengeance, but maybe justice will do.
Sure.
And then he kind of frowns and he goes, I don't normally talk like that. And then he just shakes his head. But, yeah, so the group gets split up now. Hanzo, Carlos, and Itzel. It was just the three of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
not Carlos. Carlos, Hanzo, and Itzel. Sometimes I think I mixed up your names even if I hadn't. Just assume I did.
It happens, no worries.
It's the two C name spellcasters. But so the group drives off to the preserve for another round of emergency treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I have to add a sign saying medical ward and burn treatment center.
We'll see how Lucia feels about it.
Yeah, so going and Oda purposely sits off at a good distance from where Itzel's keeping watch over the trio. And he's just kind of sitting there, and he like picks up the book, and you just see him start. He opens it, and you see he pauses as he sees the message from his dad, and then just has to close it and puts his face in his hands as he just starts crying.
Hanzo will be right there with him.
Yeah, he's got the plushie in his lap, but it's just like,
oh.
Carlos is also there, patting him on the shoulder.
And he's. It seems he's just letting it out, and it doesn't take long before you hear the sirens approaching, and like 3 patrol cars and an ambulance show up as they you see Detective Bentley get out of one of the cop cars and walk up to you, Hanzo.
He'll meet him halfway, so the kid doesn't feel crowded.
Yeah, and he walks up to you as he's like pointing at the bikers, talking to some of the cops as they go to, to arrest them, and put them in the, or either put them in the ambulance in Ginger's case, or put them in the cars. But he goes, and then there's like a look as he like looks over at Itzel, who has her visor up, but she hasn't taken her helmet off because the sun is starting to come out. But he goes, she wasn't part of this, right? And
no.
Jerks a thumb towards her and he goes, okay, I didn't think so. I was one of the ones who didn't think she was responsible for that fracas. And she goes, but then he looks at you and goes, so you're gonna put me out of a job? You keep this up? How's the kid?
He's understandably shaken. He's alive, thankfully, but I think even he knows nothing's ever going to be the same again.
No. But, I mean, like you said, after several days under the captive of people like these, he is very lucky to be alive.
Exceedingly.
He goes, well, his mother will definitely be happy, but this will be a little bit hard to explain to the bosses, but and he kind of sighs as if just like frustrated. So he goes, but we're used to working with pluripotent, so this should be easy to smooth over, and would have preferred to do, and he goes, I'm trying to not to be spiteful or resentful, but I kind of wish that we had been the ones to crack this case, but nonetheless, I appreciate the help.
I did not do this simply because it was my task from pluripotent. I care about the safety of this town.
Yeah, it kind of looks past you to where Carlos is sitting with Soda, and Carlos, one of the paramedics approaches with they kind of give a blanket to, they're not really like a blanket, but they come over to check on Soda and
yeah,
give him a once over.
Yeah, and I gave him just enough room so that Carlos isn't like hovering, but enough that the kid he's nearby if the kid needs him.
Yeah. But the detective's like, we'll bring them in. Strange. I swear we heard there was reports of a fire going on across town, but they're not here, so must have been something else. And he goes, wait. He kind of like looks at them and he goes, so that's Felix, Ginger, Texas, I believe that one was. Oh, we might still have one left out if I remember the count right.
What was the man's name again?
Ricky.
Ricky.
With an I.
I'm afraid he's dead.
And he kind of frowns and he goes, so the killer's still on the loose, but... And he kind of frowns and then he, like, again looks over at Soda and he goes, Sleep. One of the theories was that he was the one killing them. Not sure how, but he was, the one survivor of a massacre like that, and it's the assumption,
Believe me. He's got some resent, but the kid's been out of it for a few days. He was in no condition. He was in no condition to do anything about it.
He nods and he goes, he'll still need to be questioned for his tie to Epiphany, but from our questioning of Dr. Porter, he's taken full responsibility. He says he was the one who approached the kids and got them involved, and he's trying to take full responsibility for it.
Yes. Soda was... He's young. He tried to do the right thing, supporting his family.
He nods and he goes, that's what happens to a lot of these cases.
Indeed.
They start out with noble causes, and he kind of shrugs and he goes,
I believe you.
I don't want to be bleak, but shit happens.
Well, I believe there's a saying in these parts that the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
And he kind of gives a nod at that one. He goes, yes.
And I understand that this will be difficult with your superiors. I know I will face the consequences for handing the doctor to you instead of Pluripotent first. But I hope you know why I did it.
And he kind of gives you this, like, appraising look, and he goes, why is that?
Like, I did it to build trust. We cannot work towards the same interest if we're at each other's throats. I'm not trying to put you out of your job, detective. I'm trying to work with you as best as I can, as best as this job will allow.
He kind of nods and he goes, I appreciate the sentiment, and I admit I haven't been the easiest to work with at first, but it would be easier to work together than against each other.
Yes. We each possess resources and knowledge and connections that the other does not. The more we know, the better we can protect this town and its citizens.
He gives a nod. And then looks back to where the bikers are being loaded in. Felix, while injured, they mostly just like do a quick look at his arm, kind of put a burn salve on it at first, but then they're going to transport him to the hospital. Ginger's already in the ambulance, but it looks like they're going to transport Felix in the cop car just because it'll kind of goes, yeah, you're going to need a keep him locked up. And but the detective goes, still want to talk to you, but I got to get them booked and
Yes. And I have
get the
things to share
process.
with you as well.
Good. And he kind of looks over to the kid where the paramedic, after, giving him they say is like, they tell you, Carlos, it's like, best if he came into the hospital so we check him out thoroughly, but seems okay for now. And they kind of give a nod to the detective and they go hop in the ambulance as it starts pulling away.
Now, if you excuse me, Detective, I must face the wrath of my superiors.
Yes, and he goes, I was going to say, though, I should seriously take him in, but you seem to have a handle on him. Would you mind taking him to his mother?
That was my plan, yes.
I'll get shit out for that one, but he kind of shrugs and he goes, yeah, it's worth it for that. And then he gives a nod and goes, Agent?
Detective.
And turns and goes, hops in the car, and the cops leave with the bikers, except for Itzel. And she kind of like looks over to the three of you, and she goes, "So, you good here? I'm gonna go." Well, actually, you pointed out where Ricky was, and the one of the cop cars stays behind, and some of the cops go hiking out to go, find him.
Mm-hmm.
So Itzel's like, so I'm gonna go hike back to the preserve, catch up with the rest of them.
Do what you
Sounds
will.
like a plan.
Soda.
And he looks up.
Nothing is going to be the same anymore.
Nope.
But we're going to help you as best as we can.
He nods. He goes, thank you.
Let's go see your mother.
And he goes, and he goes, and he kind of like looks down where his clothing, his clothing is scorched. There's bullet holes. There's bloody, like his clothing is soaked in like old blood. He's like,
I have spare clothes.
I
back
want
in
to
my
see
place.
her, but I think she would probably have a heart attack if she saw me like this. She might think I actually am a zombie.
I mean,
there's spare clothes back at my place, and I'd like to do a check
Yes.
before we pass you over to your mom.
Okay, yeah. And he kind of like. Then he has this moment where he like licks his lips and he goes, "Oh, I'm so thirsty." Because
shit.
then he's like, "So
Here,
that'll
drink
just
this."
be a little." Yeah.
Carlos pulls out a
You might-
circus out from his coat pocket. It's like, here you go, drink this.
Yeah, he
You
kind
have-
of. He happily drinks it. So that seems like a good transition. We'll say three of you pile into Hanzo's car,
Mm-hmm.
get the air condition going for him, and
He's gonna put on the
Excellent.
Japanese pop as always.
and he seems like there's a moment where he seems surprised, but then he like kind of looks at you, Hanzo, from the back seat, and then he's just like Carlos, you see this more than Hanzo does, as Hanzo's the one driving, but it's just like, oh, it has this look. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then he just actually seems to. It does seem to help. It does seem to have a calming effect. It might actually be something similar to what, what he listens to.
Aww.
And it's just a small smile from Carlos as they drive off towards the diner to give him clothes that haven't been mutilated and burned.
Yeah, like that's why the paramedic rushed over, because he looked like a mess. But the other group.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion you want to have on the way there, or could say you pull up to the preserve and rush Fred into operation?
We're just on the way. Just
Don't touch the sides.
hey, Tommy, Fred.
Yeah,
You two did fucking great.
thanks.
Thank you.
No, I wasn't sure what I thought of you when I first met you two, but you guys are cool.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor? Pass me that bottle of painkiller over there.
Yep.
She pops two of them. That's it.
So, when a Fred, you're driving the jalopy. So, you pull up to the preserve and go in. Seeing the group stagger in, the group, the people are like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! Libby, what is going on out there?" As they rush forward and start escorting whoever's in, like, you all back towards the medical wing.
No, I need to go talk to Lucia first.
Yeah, please. Maybe she'll speak some sense into you people, as
big cats. We were dealing with some big cats.
cats that were on fire.
Yes.
Looking at you in firefighter gear, unless
Yeah.
you pulled that off in the car.
No, she did not, because she's worried some of it's fused to her skin. It's like, yes,
God,
actually.
Like the initiative, it's just like, oh my God, as they just seem to be like, they've had some thoughts about over the last 2 or 3 days, and now the third day's come, and it's just like, and you just see this look. It's like, oh my God, Lucia needs to have an intervention. But so you're all guided back towards the medical wing. You all know it well by now. And Olivia, you go. Winifred, you just kind of follow, unless you had something to do or you wanted to do.
Callie?
No, I was in Carlos's car by myself, I think. So.
Yeah, but we're at the preserve now.
Yeah, she's just sitting in the car. She's listening to music.
Oh.
Decompressing.
Yeah, she might still have that sort of problem where she goes crazy, and you're all very smelly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
even though
just
it's a little burnt, but you know.
The burn probably helps keep you from going crazy.
Yeah.
I just picture Winifred sitting in the car, windows down, just sourly slurping at a new blood bottle, just like, ugh.
Basically.
Almost like if they didn't see the burns, you'd look like you were hungover or something.
Yeah.
But so Tommy and Fred, you get ushered in. Connor, they kind of look at you, don't see any burns, but they're like, okay, you're good? Good.
Yeah, verified. He just raised. He's going to help out with some of the other people who hurt. Since
Okay.
mystical healing might be able to do a little more than doctor healing.
Oh, nice. So, well, they're getting set up and like, the wounds, cleaned at first. Olivia, you go walking towards Lucia's office, and you actually run into her leaving the office as she seems to be in a hurry, and she goes, "Olivia,
Olivia like
just
starts to stumble
Are you
as they
okay?
get closer.
there's just total concern on her face. She's like, Olivia, what?
Lucia, I need to talk to you.
Yeah. And she goes, and she like motion like points back to, or like jerks a thumb over her shoulder back to her office. She goes, privately or in the medical wing? And she like looks at you in concern.
Probably better. I mean, let's do it in your office. Yeah, that's closer. I can sit down.
Okay. And she opens the door, and you go inside of it. It's that same cluttered office. I can't remember if it was cluttered, but her office would be fairly neat actually. The only messy part would be like the little corner that's reserved for Eli, and the bird chirps up there, and it seems he's like having what looks to be like chewing on like a strawberry or something.
Hey, Eli.
Chirps, that parakeet chirp.
Yeah, and she kind of like flops down into a chair.
And like Lucia,
she's like, I should not have went down so fast.
Lucia's right there and looking at you. She's like, okay, now Spill, what the fuck, kid? She doesn't like to swear often, but
I don't know if you're gonna believe me, if I'm being honest.
I mean, we've talked about, canthropes and stuff, so hit me.
Like Japanese yokai?
Vaguely aware of those? Okay, so full-on supernatural this time.
Fucking yeah! Fucking flaming skeleton of a big cat. Fucking craziest shit I have ever seen.
Last time I saw that was on the side of a band down in Phoenix.
She like for a second looks at her like, wait, what, really? And then it clicks on her, okay.
Well, someone certainly did rise from the ashes.
God damn it. Yeah, we were dealing with a fucking vengeful yokai. I suplexed it, which I think might also be the greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
And she's like, she laughs at that. She goes, okay, yeah.
Winifred fucking picked it up in her jaws and smashed it into the ground.
And okay, that like, no offense to her, but that tracks more for her than you suplexing a fire cat.
I mean, that's more in character, but it's still awesome. I brought the others here because they got pretty fucked up too, especially Fred.
That poor man.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucked up.
He does that. He does that sometimes. Don't worry about it. He might need the actual. Honestly, all three of us might need the actual hospital, but I don't think Tommy will willingly go to a hospital.
Okay. We should go down there. I'll see what we can whip up. He said it's mostly birds. She says, kind of looking at your fire suit.
She looks at him like, he did claw at me. I don't know if any of the claws got through, but some of this might be fused to my skin.
No, you would know if it was. Well, maybe not. you lose sensation. Okay, yeah, let's get you down to the medical wing. We shouldn't have stopped for this. Let's go. And she like goes to help you up and usher you very insistently.
He's leaning
She
very heavily on Lucia.
Yeah, well, she does stop to like push the little intercom on the wall, and she goes, "George, gonna have to break out the special first aid kit." And he goes, "Wait, really?" He goes, "Yeah, you'll see." He goes,
It's me again.
Olivia. He goes, like there's that just like Olivia, and then just right, and then click, and Lucy's like, "All right, let's go." So
Shit's gotten really fucking crazy in a short amount of time.
yeah, you started hanging out with these people what 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Now we got more types of lycanthropes, a living heart, which is easily the heart's the scariest thing I've ever seen, but the Kasha is probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But hey,
It's been an eventful month for you so far.
on the plus side, we did save a kid's soul, because that's a thing that I know now, without doubt, exists.
And she kind of, as you entering the medical wing, and she's like, "We're definitely gonna have to talk more about this, but you go sit down. We'll see about getting that unfused to you." And
Take care of Fred first. He wasn't wearing any protective gear. He
Fred,
needs it most.
you're because they're like they're telling you it's like you're gonna have to go to the hospital for this. This is a
I told ya, I'm real fucked up this time.
All right, Fred. All right. Well, hey, Fred.
and
We'll have scars together. How about that?
Oh, fuck the bill. Oh, Christ.
Oh no.
it's about that time you hear like a rattling of like a cart, like a cart or something, and wheeling into the room. It's like a case like what you see like bands move their gear in. That kind of like case is like goes up chest high on George as you see him pushing it in, and he goes, "Okay, let's see, here it is," and you see like stapled or not stenciled, that's the word, on this metal box. You see, pluripotent industries, and she goes, "All right, thanks." She goes, "Okay," and she nods to the technician. She goes, "All right, I can handle the rest of this." And they kind of like look at each other in the back. They're like, "Are you sure, Dr. Lucia?" And she goes, "It's okay. I got this." And like, okay. They depart, kind of confused. But
Olivia also looks confused. But have I ever seen this before?
you've seen similar cases, but not. They just seem you might have seen them like real cases like this around pluripotent. It just seems like a transport case for containing gear.
Yeah, but like, have I ever seen her come in with that and send people away?
Nope.
Yeah. Lucia, what's going on? You're not like you're not gonna like secretly turn out to be like an arch villain and take care of us before we can become a problem, are you?
And she laughs, and at that she's like unlatching the thing. And she goes, "I mean, if you ask my brother, I am the villain, but no."
Not great. So your brother is the arch villain.
No, he's just a nerd.
He blinks.
And she goes, "He's my twin."
Oh, so are you the good twin or the evil twin?
That is a debate we've had since we were about like 4 years old. And she kind of laughs at that. And she goes, "Okay, but seriously, though," and she pops it open, and it's this case. It's just full of esoteric-looking medical equipment. There's like several canisters, like pressurized canisters. You see what looks to be like carrying case, like of clear plastic with indescript objects inside. You can't really tell what they are. You see one little section of it. It seems like almost refrigerated because she pulls it open and starts pulling out what almost looks like saline IV bags, but the fluid is this like almost it's this it's not saline like clear, but it is still like a clearish fluid, but it's like almost a bluish tint to it. Not quite sure what it is, but she starts pulling out this equipment and she goes, "Okay, let's take a look at you, Fred. Oh wow,
What?
you got hit pretty good."
Yep. I'm in extreme pain.
Flaming spirit of cat vengeance.
Yeah, you got the flaming thing for sure. And she goes, "Okay, now she goes back and she goes, technically not supposed to have this. This is highly restricted proprietary technology of pluripotent that I should not have because I no longer technically work with this high level of clearance."
What is that?
Standard SBF.
What?
She goes, standard biomimetic fluid. It's if Winifred was here, she would know this. Well, Lucia doesn't say this, but she goes, it's basically super stem cells.
What?
It's harvested from the superorganism, but this is a more refined version of it. SBF is used in pretty much everything that any cloning technology. That's where we got the. And she kind of is like giving the spiel. She goes, "It's the thing that lets us, create, or it's the key."
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm not explaining it well. She would be a little more eloquent about this, but
It's
let's
the
fine.
dino
It's
DNA.
It's fine. One of us is Fred, who's near death. The other is Olivia, who's right behind him. The other is Tommy, who's actually not too bad, apparently.
Raven, I have another cursed monster that I could toss at you. Don't test me. But so the sorry, what were you saying, Olivia? I was distracted by what Raven said. I'm not gonna say it for our audience.
Somebody will, eventually. Don't worry. Say what are you doing with it?
She goes, "Well, this is a more refined medical version. It's." She goes, I tell them this is one of the reasons why Dad was pissed at me, but I said we should push this. It's rare, this stuff is super difficult to make, but it's worth it." As she goes, "Just watch," and she kind of, I'm sorry, but it basically kind of looks like a brush kind of device, like a paintbrush, or not like a paint sprayer kind of deal. As she takes this device that's kind of got like a pistol grip with these tubes leading off of it towards this little thing that she hooks up this canister that she hooks up one of the bags to. She goes, "Fred, this is going to feel weird as hell." Now.
Okay. Do I get a choice in this?
It's either this or months of rehabilitation.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh.
All right. And with the precision of someone giving someone else a spray tan, she starts spraying this fluid off, like across the burns, and it's actually kind of soothing at first because it's cool. It's like a cooling sensation at first, and then, all right, now it's going to start to, as before she can finish it, you just feel this it almost feels like ants are crawling across you as it just starts itching, like almost uncontrollably. But then, as you're all watching, the first part that she starts spraying it over, you see the skin start. It's almost like the fluid touches and that like almost settles in, and where it touches the burned wounds, it seems to become healed flesh. Not like it's healing the wound, but like the fluid itself is becoming part of Fred, as it is
Ugh.
coming in contact and mimicking a healthy tissue, and it is she over several minutes starts spraying basically skin grafts onto Fred, and she goes, "It's highly, you know, don't have much of this stuff, but this is a serious wound you got here, Fred, and I worry about you, buddy. But
He's a good
Fred,
guy.
you can heal 3 points of damage."
Yay! And all it took was having cells from the superorganism grafted on to me. I'm sure that
Oh,
won't
no.
have repercussions.
Oh no. These weren't from the superorganism. These are specifically cloned themselves from research gained from it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
super medicine.
Okay. In
It was-
character, I'm very, very comforted. Out of character.
Fred's going to grow a new arm or a third arm.
Unfortunately, TT has become the very thing they loathe, an eldritch abomination.
I love eldritch abominations when they're actually eldritch abominations. I don't like it when it's actually just a guy with red skin and horns that we're calling the eldritch abomination because he has magic powers and makes deals with people.
And
You know,
now
like
you're
no other
slubby,
archetype.
now you're a slubby middle-aged suburban dad who's an eldritch abomination.
I mean, that's basically my headcanon for Cthulhu's personality. So,
Fred is becoming Cthulhu.
I'm gonna roll a tough
Dad
for
food.
Olivia. I'm gonna see
Tough?
if she stays awake this whole time.
Okay.
It's fine.
Nope. You kind of pass out.
Have fun,
Wait,
Fred.
did you say 5?
If-
You said a
no,
5,
no.
right?
You said 3. You said 5, and Ben said 3. So I'm assuming it was 3.
It was 4 plus 1.
So it was 5.
Yes, but I got it.
What? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
TT, what are you talking about?
I thought you were talking about my harm.
No.
No!
No.
I rolled a tough to see if I was going to stay conscious.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you took 3 harm in the battle, and you got healed 3 harm just now.
Okay, we're good. I'm sorry. I blame
Even
Ted.
looking at the older burns on your arms, from where it had grabbed you a few times, they're gone. Like the burns are healed. You feel like even like small scars you might have had there, like originally, those are healed up too. It's like, it's like all the damage you might have sustained there, like visibly sustained, has not just been like wiped away. Like no hair has grown back, so it's like that weird smooth skin, but you're fully healed.
And smooth as a baby's bottom.
Okay,
I
Ken.
try to avoid that analogy, but yes.
Oh, if Olivia loses her scars, she's gonna wake up very upset.
So, yeah, Tommy, your wounds are not as bad. So she's like, okay, you don't need a skin graft, but that is a decently bad wound. So she goes and pulls out like a gel tube, or like a tube, and she squeezes out a gel. She goes, okay, here, this is a burn salve, or this should work for a burn, and you can rub it in, and it will heal the one.
Tommy does just that. Thanks, Doc.
And the Olivia, she'll tend to your wounds. Thankfully, none of it got fused to your skin, but you did get burned just from the heat. So yeah, as you're passed out, she will tend to your wounds. But yeah, you all get patched up, and Lucy is like, now, normally, you gotta sign an NDA for this kind of stuff, but just don't go mentioning this to your friend Hanzo. I prefer not to. I prefer this not get back to player opponent and my brother unless we have to use it on him or save him or something.
How you feeling, Fred?
Really good, and that's somewhat disconcerting.
Did she have to use it on Olivia?
She used not the spray stuff. Well, how much damage did you take?
I had 3, but I healed 1.
Okay, so yes, drives by. But
It's all you're free.
Noisy engine.
It's all too straight.
But the I guess she would use some of that stuff but it wasn't as intense as the wounds that Fred got. Since again, Fred's were compounding wounds.
Fairs, yeah.
I got real fucked up.
Yeah, you did, Fred. But hey, you fucking made it though, and you saved people's lives. You saved fucking kids' life.
Yeah. We accomplished a lot.
We actually did, yeah. So you seemed surprisingly not freaked out by yokai.
Well, I mean, Dracula's are real, so.
No, not you, Lucia.
Oh well. I mean, you're right. I need to be having a little more of an open mind about some of the weirder stuff, like.
Where that was seen?
I mean, there are lycanthropes, and I guess it would make sense that there would be other animal hybridization with it.
Fucking deal with it. But why? I'm gonna fucking find that werethylacine.
I mean, if you do, I'd be fascinated to,
Pretty sure the werethylacine was just a red herring.
It was a thylacine tooth. It's not.
The shape of it and the genetic markers, flagged as thylacine.
Wait. Well, you don't think
deformation. Which would make sense if it's a hybridized, if it's the tooth from a hybrid.
And Connor.
Yeah?
That tooth you fucking ripped off the kasha. It doesn't look like the tooth I pulled out of the boar, is it?
He pulls out the nearly foot-long saber tooth. No.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
it's more like
related.
Maybe not foot long because that's even bigger than a T-Rex's tooth, but it's still bigger than a tiger's should be.
It's a saber tooth. It's like 8 inches or something ridiculous.
Yeah. So Fred, it's not related to the kasha, but there is a fucking thylacine out there.
Do you think it might be a vampire playing around? Because we saw that Winifred could turn into.
Or do you think
critters?
the Akasha got a thylacine tooth and planted it to make us think there was a werethylacine and waste a lot of time?
And Lucia is just like, wait, Winifred can shapeshift?
Look at Tommy!
Where is she? Now she looks like super interested. She's like, where is she? She's really hanging out around.
She's in. If she peeks outside, Winterfred is in the back seat of the shitty jalopy with her umbrella stuck in the window so she doesn't get sun on her, and she's sleeping. She's fucking sleeping because she hasn't slept in like 3 days because you all are
Good
fucking
lord.
That's true.
diurnal motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The back of the head when like Lucille is like looking out the window. Tommy just gets like the back of the head slap.
I don't know who's in the know with these things.
You gotta be careful.
You literally just told her about the Akasha.
Yeah, about the Kasha, not about the thing we all just dealt with and are dealing with the repercussions of. Not somebody's personal information.
I mean, this might be a benefit because if she knows,
I mean,
She
it might
can
be, but
give-
that was
Yeah, I
Winifred's
think
tell.
Tommy and Olivia are the only ones who would know about this.
Oh,
So
yeah!
this is
Oh my
news to
God!
you two, Connor
No,
and Fred.
Hanzo also knew because
Well, yeah, I mean, right here, of the people present,
right.
only Olivia
present.
and Tommy knew, because Tommy, you were there when you apprehended Dr. Porter, and Olivia, you saw her turn into the armadillo, after
armadillo,
the
yeah.
shootout, or before the shootout.
Wait, you said Whitty can turn into a bear now?
We're not talking about it anymore until Winifred's conscious in here.
Oh god.
All the secrets coming out.
Mhm.
And somebody will have to explain to Winifred what happened.
So,
Ta-
just because we're... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Tommy straight up just tells Winifred, "Hey, I told people you can turn into an armadillo." Whenever they meet up next.
Yeah. So,
You'll get my reaction when that happens.
yeah, was there, unless there was anything you wanted to say before we switch scenes real quick? Because we're getting closer to the end, and I don't know if people are,
Yeah.
I know tomorrow's not a holiday day, so.
I have
Yeah.
a hard limit from
Yeah,
now
and
until summer ends.
Mhm.
Now that he's like not covered in burn marks and death, Olivia's gonna punch Fred in the shoulder.
Ow, why?
It's a gesture
Oh,
of like good job.
It's like a friendly punch.
Yeah.
Ah, like in the locker room, I get you.
Not the lock. Oh man. It's like it's not locker.
When all the jocks come around you and they just take turns slugging you in the arm.
Oh man, don't compare me to a jock. Shit.
I'm saying you're a jock. I'm just saying that, it's like
Listen,
bonding.
man.
When they all gather around you and they call you pig boy and they all start punching you in the
Oh
arm.
my god, no, not that.
Lucy
No,
is
not-
like, wow. I
No,
think we might
Fred.
shift. I think we might shift before we get too deep into that, because it's making me sad.
Stop it. You're making me
But,
sad.
so, switching over to Carlos and Hanzo and Soda, you drive up over to the diner, and you don't bother going through the diner, I assume, and just go to the back. But
Yeah, just go to the back because we have a little bit of, I'm not taking that kid in through a public front. Are you kidding me?
yeah, so, but as you're like walking up, and he goes, kind of like sniffs there. He goes, and then you can hear his stomach growl. He goes, "Oh, I'm so hungry."
Clothes first,
Like the shock is starting to wear off, and he goes, "Yeah." And
because you can't put you in a diner.
he goes, "Oh no, I'm not ready to be in public yet, I think." But he follows you into the back, and yeah, you have some clothes he can wear. He excuses himself to the bathroom.
Good.
You, as you and Hanzo are kind of there after a few minutes, you do hear what sounds like weeping, but it's brief, and he seems like he got a hold of himself, but his first moment alone, it seemed he cracked a little bit.
Yep. As he goes in, Carlos is going to be like, Hanzo, watch him for a second. I'm going to go grab something to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll go over, pop in, and look at whoever's on shift and be like, because he's like probably got bags under his eyes. He has slept maybe 6 hours the last 3 days. And he's like,
Also, looks like shit. He's barely slept.
yes, we're all in that boat. Before he goes out, he pokes back in. If you can make like 3 of those, actually.
And he just nods and puts down, lays out 2 other tortillas waiting for the filling.
Awesome.
So
you're the best, Hugo. And then he goes back over.
He gives a nod, satisfied. Hugo came with the diner. He was basically your first employee. Not like when you bought the diner, he was already there waiting. But no, it's like you got the diner because you knew he was like one of the first people you met in town, and he was out of work, but you knew he was a chef. So.
Well, please consider the horror of that statement. What the image you put in my head is like, yeah, my diner's finally complete. You walk in and somebody's already behind the counter.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you want?
So Carlos was not the first owner of this diner. Carlos has only been in town for like 3 years. It could be entirely possible he took over the diner, and Hugo was one of the only staff members left.
I think that was it. Yeah, we'll say that was it. Yeah, it's not as obvious as it's just like all right, I'm gonna open this diner, and you open the door, and yeah, like DZ said, the grills are already going, and like he puts your order on that you didn't place, and it's just the most delicious food you ever ate.
You're hired.
No, that's what he tells you once you walk in. You're hired. It's like, excuse me? You pay? It's like, you pay for this place now. The contract is sealed. You already ate the tortilla.
Oh god, every diner needs a manager.
It's like, there must always be a manager.
But before we get too distracted by this, we're almost at the end. So he gets you the food whipped up, and he's a professional. It's get whipped up quick, so you can return with 3 burritos.
Yep. Arrives with burritos, passes 1 to Hanzo, and then 1 to Soda when he's,
Yeah,
out.
by the time you get back, the door opens. Actually, no. If you wanted to talk to Hanzo, this is a good chance. But
well, that went messier than it should have.
Yes. I do not begrudge the kid for being alive, but this certainly complicates things.
Oh no, the kid being alive is not anything about his fault. I'm glad he's alive. We were going to just send his soul on because we didn't think we could do that. I didn't know I could do that.
I don't think you really did.
I don't think I did either. So there's gonna be a conversation with Connor later.
Yes.
Decaying the skull in my hands mid thing could have gave a heads up.
If I had to guess, he wasn't planning on doing it either.
No.
Hey, you have the Black Plague now. Just fair warning.
Probably not, but between that and other things that I'm realizing that maybe I shouldn't have been so fast to tell people about, it's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks, I think.
Yes.
So it's about then that Soda opens the door and walks out, and
There you are,
he
here you
goes,
go, burrito on the house.
and he goes, "Oh, thank you." I was going to say thank you for the clothes, but and he just kind of sits down at whatever like folding card table you have there, and he just sits down and just
There's
devours this burrito.
There is an early 90s salvage couch. He can sit on the couch.
Mm-hmm. But one of you slept on last night.
Mm-hmm.
But so just because I'm trying to wrap things up slightly faster, unless there's anything you want to talk to him, you can get him clothed and fed, and once he's fed, he expresses a wish to go see his mom.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
I take him right there.
Before we head out, Carl's be like, hey, once you've gotten settled back in a little more, or things start to get a little weird with the anger and the fiery stuff, you come find me. I'll help you
Nods
through
and
it.
he goes, "Thank you. I owe you so much." That guy Connor said he'd be able to help me out too.
Yeah, you should be. He's probably got more hands-on. I've got more overview. If that makes any sense. So. In the case you'll be. But anywho, let's get you back to your mom.
Yeah, and he goes, he picks up the book and he's like, he puts the plushie down. He goes, "Can you make sure this gets back to? I think it was Olivia. I don't want to take this from her."
Yeah, I'll make sure it gets back to Olivia. No problem.
Kind of
Wink.
squints at that, but he follows
I
you
promise.
out to the car.
it's like I need to have a talk with her anyway. It's fine.
Okay. And you load back up into Hanzo's car. No messages for you, Hanzo, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should have like a dating, like not dating, but like a buffer session next time. But because there's going to be, Hanzo still has to talk to the detective, and although we could, we can discuss this afterwards. But so Hanzo and Carlos, you drive Soda and down to Little Japan, and he seems to be both nervous, this like anxious, nervous, and excitement wells up in him as you pull up towards the house, and not as many cars as you saw there. Whoa, echo.
Echo, second there.
My microphone, my headphones popped out.
The not as many cars as you saw there yesterday, Hanzo, but Soda, when he's like hasn't gotten out of the car, and he goes, "Oh, what do I tell her?"
You just go up there and you hug your mom, and that's all you gotta worry about.
And he kind of gives a sigh and then takes a deep breath to steady himself. And he goes, "Thank you, thank you both." And he steps out of the car. And are you going to go up with him or just watch from the car?
I will go up with him.
I will watch from the
Okay.
car because I've never been here a day in my life.
Okay. So, Hanzo, you walk up with him, and
I'll be the one to knock on the door.
yeah, because he walked up to it and kind of hesitated, but then he seems to look appreciative when you do it for him. And there's a moment where you hear, a voice inside call out, "All right, on my way." You recognize it as Soda's cousin, the girl who had let you in the previous day, and there's a moment where you hear what looks like, or not looks like, but sounds like a sharp gasp as you realize she might have looked through the people, and then the door tries to swing open, gets stuck on the latch, and she's like, "Soda, what?" And she's like, "Aunt Haruka!" And she like slams the door, and then you hear the lock jiggle as she's trying to get the stupid latch open, and then it just swings open, as she rushes out and like gives Soda a giant hug.
Oh.
And then you're like looking in, you see some people pop their heads in into the little entryway hallway. It's like, what? Because they heard just the shout and commotion. Then Haruka kind of rounds the corner. She's like, "What are you yelling?" Words just fail her as she just goes wide-eyed, and Soda's like, and she just rushes forward, and like his cousin steps aside so Haruka could just wrap her son up in this giant hug, and they both just kind of collapse as they're hugging each other. They kind of like go to their knees as she just starts sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like the other family members that were there, for the day to, provide support are just kind of standing there looking just astonished. And then a few of them walk up and they, it takes a while for, mom to let go of son, but eventually the others start approaching and they have this tearful reunion. And Haruka looks up to you and she goes, "Thank you so much. I can never repay you for this."
Take care of him.
And they manage to stand up, and as they start to go inside, he looks back to you and he goes, and he smiles and he goes, "Thank you so much." And they go back inside, and the door closes. So that would be we're a little bit early, but I do have an ending in mind, unless there was any last minute things people wanted to do.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just say that after this, and maybe this is where we'll start off next time if we wanted to do like a little filler episode in preparation for the next arc. But we'll say that after reuniting Soda with his mother, and you eventually, Hansel, you have a talk with Detective Bentley and McLean lined up, but the group eventually you gather back at, we'll say, at the diner, or dinner once people are feeling better. Winifred has had a few winks of sleep. She's not ready to eat somebody out of crankiness rather than hunger.
I'm imagining she's still asleep. We just moved her to the passenger seat.
Oh no, she's in the back seat, so you just have to drive her there.
Well, she was in the driver. Oh yeah, she did. Did she move to that? Anyway, yes, sure.
I mean, Tommy and Fred have driver's license.
I forgot Tommy has one. No, the problem
Actually,
wasn't the driving. Is that she was
Fred's
driving
might be
the
at
car
the
before.
Fred might even have his vehicle. I can't remember where it was left, but anyways, makes long story short, the group gathers at the diner. You have this little after thing as the sun sets, the moon rises, fairly full. The No dust storms or dust devils sweep across the town for the first time in almost a week. It's a peaceful night, except for the bikers as they're booked. Uh, you learn later Felix attempted to escape, but he was quickly subdued and just added more charges to resisting arrest.
I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was smarter than Tex after all.
Ginger says she's willing to cooperate. You learn that the concept. Actually, we'll just say Ginger says she's willing to cooperate. And with the testimony of Dr. Porter, Hanzo, you believe that Soda may be able to escape any of the blame or repercussions for his involvement with the Epiphany, depending on how Pluripotent may. You're not sure Pluripotent may pursue something themselves, but you're satisfied for the moment. Soda is okay, but it's not Soda that we focused on as night falls. It's late night as a lone cop car, it would be a cop car, starts making its long trek, leaves the precinct to make its long trek towards Phoenix, as in the back seat is Dr. Porter, being transferred to the FBI down there, due to the severity of the drugs he's being, jurisdiction is being juggled around, but he's being transferred to Phoenix for holding and but getting out onto the old freeway, or heading towards the freeway, going down roads. The moon is high, the sky is clear, and the two cops in the front are just idly chatting, talking about, basically discussing their captive in the back seat, and one of the cops kind of turns back at this dejected looking man. His hands aren't cuffed. It's a long trip. It would have been too long to have his hands bound behind him, but no getting out of the back of a cop car, they think, as cop turns around and goes, "I really thought that getting those kids involved would really get you that money, huh?" And window update. Sorry, ruining the space there. But and Dr. Porter scowls, and it's the cop in glare who just laughs, and it's just like, and he goes, "I hope those feds, throw you away." And the driver goes, "Honestly, should have thrown him in the same cell with the biker." And the cops, they continue their mean bullying of this doctor as they pull up to a stoplight. Damien looks in the mirror, at the cops, and he goes, "All right, I think this is my stop." As he reaches out, puts a hand palm flat against the back of the seat where the driver is, as the other cop is looking back and goes, "What are you up to?" Moments before the front of the driver's chest explodes into a spray of viscera as a fragmenting bone bullet is fired through his torso, splattering the windshield with blood. And then Damian Porter rips his hand up, and from a previously concealed slit in his palm, a bone barrel slides out, and he aims, and he goes, "You just had to be assholes," as the cop's head is hollowed out by another bone bullet. And Dr. Porter grimaces as his other hand splits open and a blade slides out as he slices through the car door and looks towards the lights of the city, sighs, and goes, "Oh, they're gonna fucking kill me," as the implanted weaponry slide back into his forearms, the wounds sealing shut as he starts running into the desert, not realizing that something else is following him, something hungry, something with a mission. And that is where we leave off as the moonlight shines down on this doomed traitor.
God.
Damn.
Oh my god!